And good morning. Welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Friday. It's the weekend. Yeah, we got all kinds of things to talk about today and folks to talk to. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Barry Bond, stop it. Barry. Come on. Barry. Barry. Thank you. Stop it. Good morning, too. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We dedicate this show to the man who hung on the cross. Oh, I didn't get all the cross in. It's right beside the Raiders banner. I have to tilt it back a little bit more, but you know what it is, and I didn't get a chance to put it right over there. I'll do that during the break, and we'll do that coming up here. But where you can see it, because that's who we dedicate the show to, the man who hung on the cross. Without him, I am nothing. Unashamedly, I tell you that. Took me a long time to figure that out. But once I did, ain't no turning back. Ain't no stopping me now, as they say. Well, we got stories all over the place today. We're going to be joined by Stacy Carter coming up in a few minutes, head football coach at Science Hill, getting ready to head off to Knox Catholic for a big scrimmage today. Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse joins us coming up in a few minutes. Also, Jeff Birchfield with a NASCAR preview and talk some other sports as well. Carmichael will be along a bit later on in the show for his weekly quiz show. Didn't do well yesterday, or not yesterday, but Wednesday. Went 2 for 5 twice at the Speedway with Landon Owen and also with the Apester and those Elvis questions she conjured up. And so we'll be talking to those folks. Also, NASCAR in Michigan this weekend. Trucks are there. Of course, the Cup Series there. The Xfinity Series is in Lexington, Ohio. We'll tell you all about that. Also, big kudos to LeBron James. Very nice. LeBron did something classy, and we'll tell you all about that. The update on Deflategate. Who cares? I'm over it. Are you over it? I'm over it. Man up. Do something. Just get. And so that's kind of what the judge is saying. We'll tell you all about that coming up in a few minutes. Deflategate, they're all about that. Or not all about it, but folks, everywhere I hear or go and talk to, what do you think about Tom Brady? I'm tired of hearing about Tom Brady. Do something. Get over it. Get on with it. We got a football season to play, and I would agree. Oh, wait a minute. What happened there? Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. We got bell problems. All right, let's see if we can bring it back live. There we go. All right, so I hear something tap going. What else here? Could it be Gator? Yep, it'd be Gator. Let's see what he wants. Let's see here. The Gator man, we usually move when he gets something from the Gator. Usually it's important. Gator knows subject. It would be Gib. Man's got bib overalls on. That's a man there. Country is cornbread. Gib Castile, rather. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Probably. Yeah, a little bit. Gib, picture Gib smiling like a fox in a hen house. He's done something wrong. You see how he's grinning. You can't see it on my phone, but Gib Castile. Yonder getting his ears lowered. Yonder down at the Cherokee Barbershop. We're going to be talking about the Gator Man coming up here in a few minutes. Anyway, NFL recap. Got another college basketball coach in trouble. We were talking about Deflategate. Now the bell works. Thank you. Deflategate. Are you over it? I'm over it. Just do something. I don't care what you do. Brady has beat the system. Innocent until proven guilty. I understand that. But just, I'm just over it. And so anyway, we'll move on. We'll have to report on it because it is in the news. NFL recap last night. Some folks did well. Some folks stunk it up. Aaron Rodgers went out there and had 19 throws. 11 for 19, 117 yards. Packers used him pretty, for a first exhibition game. They did a pretty good time allotted for Aaron Rodgers. All by the way, the Packers beat the Patriots in NFL preseason football. College coach in trouble. Tell you all about that. A former Bristol Motor Speedway employee lands a new role. Class guy gets a new position. Very excited for him. And also, Jack Roush says he's got a red-hot driver. He's going to have to move him up. All this coming up and on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Stacy Carter joins us coming up here in a few minutes. They're getting ready to head down to Knoxville to take on the Knox Catholic football team. It's a full scrimmage, regular scrimmage, whistles, referees, the whole deal. Not one of those run 2-3 plays and stop. I mean, this is going to be a game-like situation, which is going to be a great test for Science Hill. They have, and I'll let Coach Carter tell you about this, they've had a young man transfer in who is a heck of a football player, and so he is now in the fold and ready to go. So he will make them a very good football team instantly, and we won't steal his thunder. We'll let Coach Carter tell you about that coming up here in a few minutes. Now, I want to start this show with Barry Bonds. And I want to get the story here. See all the stuff we have for you every day on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Barry Bonds. Really? Barry, really, buddy? Come on now. Here we go. Let's run down what Barry Bonds has to say about Barry Bonds. You know, earlier in the week, Floyd Mayweather said he was the greatest boxer of all time. So I need one of those horns. Gator, Apester, here's your homework. I need one of the, nah. I need something that's a buzzer. So when Barry Bonds says he's the greatest of all time and Floyd Mayweather says he's the greatest boxer of all time, we got to have a besides that over there. So I got to work on that. I come up with an noise. Like, nah, that ain't happening. Barry Bonds cleared the bases more than any man in Major League Baseball history. Now he's cleared of all charges. He says he should be in Cooperstown. Bonds' ongoing saga with obstruction of justice charges ended in July when the U.S. Department of Justice announced it would not challenge the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals decision to overturn his conviction. A conviction that stemmed from a misleading answer Bonds gave to a federal grand jury. Now, if you and I did that, will we still be sitting here right now? Ain't a snowball's chance. If I misled a federal grand jury, nah. What's the old saying? They throw you under the jailhouse and throw away the key. I think that's what they used to say back home. By the way, somebody asked me the other day, listening to the show, where's back home? West Virginia. Proud to be from West Virginia, but I'm also very, very proud to be in Tennessee now. All my folks are gone, so as far as my parents, so this is pretty much home for me now. The old home place has been sold, so here we is. But anyway, I'm from West Virginia. Back home, they'd say, throw you under the jailhouse and throw away the key. That would be what would happen with you and I. A conviction that stemmed from a misleading answer Bonds gave to a federal grand jury when questioned about drugs and supplements supplied to him by his personal trainer. Bonds admitted that he has, quote, had a weight lifted off his shoulders. I'm sure he has. There's another burden he refuses to carry. Bonds feels he belongs among baseball's best in Cooperstown. He feels no need to justify his Hall of Fame credentials. Quote, Barry Bonds says, every player who's ever played against me knows my ability, and that's something I will never, ever have to explain. The late Dean Smith used to tell his basketball players in North Carolina, boys or men, act like you've been there. My father told his 4 boys growing up, if he told me once, he told me 100 times, boys, don't tell me how good you are. Show me. If you're any good, you won't have to tell me. It'll kind of come out. That's true. Whether you're driving a race car or you're farming or you're on the radio, or whatever you're doing, you're on the internet in this case, whatever the case may be, Gator don't have to tell me how good he is down cutting hair. Proof's in the pudding. Bracken Paving doesn't have to show me how good they are. Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. Paving, that would not be right. It'd be paving, Tom. Thank you, Apester. Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. They don't have to tell me how good they are. I see the yellow truck all over the place. I see all the little yard signs all over the Tri-City saying, job just done by Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. Barry says, every player who's ever played against me, they know my ability. Then that's something I'll never, ever have to explain. They knew who I am. Anyway, Barry Bonds says he should be in Cooperstown. What do you think? I say no, but that's me. His 73 home runs in 2001, of course, he's on the juice, will likely remain the single-season record for some time. He's led his league in home runs twice, RBIs, runs scored, batting average twice, on-base percentage 10 times, walks 12 times, slugging 7 times. No slouch in the field. He's also earned 8 Gold Glove awards. But Cooperstown's still an uphill battle for Barry Bonds. In 2015, he received only 36% of the votes. You need 75 to join the Hall of Fame. So he's not quite even, he's not even at 50%. Outwardly accepts that. Inwardly, he remains content with his accomplishments. So he has 7 years remaining on the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. So he is at 50%. All these awards, everything he's done, a 7-time MVP, a 14-time All-Star. So all-time leader in career home runs, 762. And yet he's got a 50% approval rating by the Hall of Fame voters and sports writers to get him in. What's that tell you? Proof in the pudding. So Barry says, every player who's ever played against me knows my ability. That's something I will never, ever have to explain. Well, the fact you have 50%, my friend, of the needed votes to get in the Hall of Fame, and all these awards I just read off, these stats and these awards, yeah, you never have to explain. You're right. We got problems over here. This thing's not good. There we go. Oh, I see. It's jammed. See, I hit it a while ago inadvertently. All right, there we go. I think it's back. Anyway, that's what's going on with Barry Bonds here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Unbelievable. All these guys coming out saying I'm the greatest ever. Really? Just play the game. If you're that good, and obviously this guy's got the stats, no question. But how many of them was under false pretenses, a.k.a. drugs or supplements? So if he gets in the Hall of Fame, then you bring it right back around and you go into Pete Rose and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and Rafael Palmeiro and all these guys, then you go right back into that same argument. So if this guy gets in, then why can't this guy get in? You know, the old book says sin, or not the old book, the good book says sin is sin, right? So if he's guilty, if Pete Rose is guilty, then this guy's guilty. Totally different thing, Tom. Nah, if he's guilty, he's guilty. Way I look at it. I'm an old country boy, so maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I got it stirred up and ciphered up. Stacey Carter joins us coming up next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again on this Friday, kicking off day number 127 of our Fun and Frolic. Be with you Monday and Tuesday here in studio. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, we'll be on the high banks of Bristol, ready to go. Bring you lots and lots of action, lots and lots of interviews, all kinds of great music. Got some great music lined up next week. Thanks to Horace. He's been in there working the jukebox. We're playing some music in between interviews and information. It's 4 days of just pumping it out for you. Picked up a brand new sponsor, Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen. Love it. They're going to be with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, on Science Hill Football, and also on the Bristol Live Show next week. So we're very excited about that. And I'm going to be at the pool tomorrow. Can only get into the pool a couple more. In fact, the pool closes this weekend for good. So I'll be there tomorrow, slathered up with, you got it, Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen, made right here in the Tri-Cities in Johnson City. So as I preach it, be loyal, buy local, buy these locally made products, keep our folks here in the Tri-Cities working. Again, Jeff telling me it's in 25 countries now, including the United States, obviously. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen, brand new sponsor here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on Bristol Live. And 2 weeks from tonight, Science Hill Football. Stacey Carter, we're going to talk to him coming up next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Friday night at 7 o'clock, you've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, over my, right shoulder is the cross where it should be, where you can see it every day. That's what this show's about, dedicated to the man who hung on that cross for us. Let's go to the phone. Let's get him. I'm all excited about doing Science Hill Sports, I can tell you that. I am jacked up to be part of the Topper Nation. All right, let's do one ringy-dingy, I think. There we go, one ringy-dingy. I know he's getting ready to get that team on the bus, head to Knox Catholic here in a few minutes. Coach Stacy Carter.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
There he is. Coach Stacy Carter is with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Live. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, Tom. I'm doing very well.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. I know you're busy. You're in between classes, getting ready to get on the bus and go to Knoxville. Let's talk about this week of practice for Science Hill. How's it going for you so far for the Hilltoppers?
Well, it's going very well. We're probably tired of hitting each other. It's been a long time in camp, and I think the kids are ready to play. But it was a good week of practice. We got a lot of good stuff in. Didn't have any too many significant injuries, which is a good thing for this time of year. So it went very well for us.
Getting ready to head down to Knoxville. So I know last week we talked. You said the defense was a little bit ahead of the offense after the little North City scrimmage and also the three-way scrimmage a couple of weeks ago. Has the offense beginning to catch up a little bit of the defense in practice?
Well, I mean, our offense is we're going to have a good offense, and it's getting better every day. And we got a lot of weapons, and we think we're going to be good on that side of the ball. The defense, we'll see today. We have a great test, but we feel like they're way ahead of where we've ever been at this time. We think we're good up front and physical, have some good linebackers. So, and the guys will get tested today to see how good we are. So, we think the defense probably still is, more seasoned. So we have a lot of guys back on that side of the ball, but the offense is coming together also.
2 weeks from tonight, we've got our first game. I cannot wait right here on Tom Taylor Productions. And again, I can't even talk as I'm excited. Streaming it live on the internet against the Elizabethton Cyclones. Coach, you go tonight. Great test. You go on the road at Knox Catholic in a kind of a game-like situation. Tell me about it.
Well, we're going to go down to Knox Catholic, and it is a game situation. Another 2-hour bus ride and jump off and play in about 45 minutes. So it's one of those deals, which is, we got to get used to that. But most of the time you'll have a little bit more time in between before you play. But, it's something that we're trying to get used to, but taking these road trips. And, Knox Catholic has a great program, has some very good players, have a lot of ex-University of Tennessee players on their team. And some Division I prospects also. So I think it's a good test for our program, and I think it's a good test for their program too. So we expect it to be a good battle. Yeah,
Knox Catholic's good, but so are the Hilltoppers. So it's going to be good. They need to understand we're coming down too. Everybody said, well, you're going down to see play Knox Catholic. Well, guess what? They got to understand we got some boys coming out of John City's going to hopefully lay one on them. So it's going to be a good game on both sides of the football because two great teams are coming. Coach, since we last talked, a young man has transferred into the Johnson City school system and is now on your football team. Tell me about that.
We did have a transfer this week. King Russell had transferred from Kingsport and just had a couple practices, but he's running back. Very successful for Dobbins Bend the last couple of years. And so hopefully he can get in the swing of things and help us out some.
There you go. So King Russell now on the roster and in the fold for Science Hill football. So conditioning. I know we've been going through this heat for the last month or so. This week, conditioning. I don't know if you ever get used to it, but are the guys getting a little bit more acclimated to the heat because it's here day in and day out with all the humidity?
Well, I think we're doing well. We practice very fast, and the kids are used to doing that. And we change from thing to thing quick, and we run a lot of plays of offensive team because we run that no huddle stuff. So I think they're getting in shape by practicing hard and getting acclimated to the weather. Everybody's got to be I don't know if you ever get used to it, but you definitely get acclimated to it, and your body adapts, and you're able to perform a lot better in it.
Last question before I let you go. Talking to Coach Cardigan, the head football coach at Science Hill. What are your objectives today on this game, or this game-like scrimmage? What do you want to accomplish today for Science Hill football against Knox Catholic?
Well, we just want to go out there and get better, but we want to rise up to the competition. Make sure that we're come in there and get going quick in this game. But it's a good test. Like you said, it's going to be a good test for both programs. The good thing about these kids is we played the Brentwood Academy, we played Maryville, we played everybody across the state. So it's not like we're going in playing some team. We played everybody. So we're ready to go in for the challenge, but we want to see if we can go in here. And at this time of year, you always want to see how good you are, so this is a good chance to see where you're at.
I think it's safe to say I haven't been around you for a number of years. Stacey Carter football team, we don't back down, do we? We accept the challenge, right?
We're definitely going to go after them, and I'm sure they're going to come after us too. We're going to see what happens tonight.
You got it. Have a safe trip. I'll talk to you next week. Go Toppers, all right?
Go Toppers. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good man right there. Stacey Carter, love him to death. I tell you what, that guy can coach a football team. Look what he's done. He was successful at Solomon South, moves over to Science Hill, back-to-back Big 7 titles, state quarterfinal appearance a year ago. And, again, with the acquisition of this young man transferring from Kingsport to Johnson City with his family, King Russell, running back from Dobbins Bennett out at Science Hill, makes him a much, much different football team, no question, with an established running game. Not that there wasn't one already, but this kind of a little shot in the arm, if you will. So he's now in the fold, and I would assume he'll be making the trip to Knox Catholic today. He said he's only been out for a couple of days. So, again, that is a new move, or not a new move, but a new situation. Young man transferring in from DB to Science Hill to play football immediately for the Hilltoppers. Again, running by King Russell. Thanks to Coach Carter. Tom Taylor Sports Show coming up in a few minutes. We'll check in with Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse. Also coming up, we'll hear about LeBron James. Nice job by LeBron. I tell you, a very classy move by LeBron James, and I'm liking the guy more and more all the time. But very classy move. We'll tell you all about that coming up here in a few minutes. All right, let's get this out of the way. Deflategate. You got to talk about it. It's sports news, but it'll be brief, I can promise you. I don't know about you, but I'm over it. Big time. Like, move on. Brady, somebody do something. Get this thing off the table, and let's get focused on what should be a heck of a football season coming up. No deal Thursday. No talks today. No end in sight. As I say all this, come right back and tell you that. Oh, by the way, speaking of NFL football, I want you to see that I'm enjoying a big old glass of water, wherever that be. Can you see that up there close? Let's see. There you go. See that name right there? Wait a minute, let's turn around. You get the badge, not the badge, but the shield. The Raiders. There you go. Playing tonight against the Rams. Going to kick him. Let me get a drink here, please. Water. Good for you. Good for you. Got to drink a lot of water. So says Barry Walton from Max Medismart. And he's right, too. Keep yourself hydrated. All right, turning to the NFL Players Association, representing the Patriots quarterback of the National Football League, wrapped up negotiations yesterday afternoon without a settlement regarding Brady's 4-game Deflategate suspension. He was not there. He was in a limited capacity last night in their loss against the Packers on NFL preseason football on Thursday night. Although no talks are scheduled for today, both sides are due to file final briefs before next week's hearing and oral arguments. Now, U.S. District Court Judge Richard Berman has reserved the right to call for more talks Monday or Tuesday before Wednesday's scheduled hearing. Now, what they're saying is neither side commented. Berman has a gag order in place. Nobody can be talking. Berman says, I want this done. I want this resolved. Thanks to you, sir. Thank you very much, Judge Berman. I want this thing wrapped up and done, is what he's told him. Both sides are trying to avoid Wednesday's court hearing, which is expected to be open to the public and include testimony from witnesses. So now everybody's scurrying. We want to cut a deal before Wednesday so we don't have to deal with this in public, on the stand, including testimony from witnesses. There you go. Although notices filed by the court yesterday said principals, I would assume that's Brady, are not required to attend on 8/19/15, meaning neither Brady nor Commissioner Roger Goodell is required to be in court that day. So what's the point? And I don't know the legal system, so I'm sure there is a point. I just don't know about it. But if you're trying to resolve this and you get to the point where Wednesday you can open it up for public testimony and testimony from witnesses, then why not get them in there? Why don't we all sit down like big boys and ladies if they're involved from the attorney standpoint, if it's ladies and guys, whoever, sit down across the table like big boys, put on your big boy pants, and get this thing resolved. But in the legal system, it could drag on for weeks, months, who knows how long this thing can go on. But, again, the judge, Richard Berman, says, I would like to have something on the table and have this thing done. So we'll see. But next stop, again, is next Wednesday, and that's the next time everybody will be kind of in front of one with another, although Brady and Roger Goodell are not required to be there coming up next Wednesday. So what's the point? Tom Taylor Sports Show. Quick break. We'll be right back. Coming up, we'll check in with Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse. Also, we've got an NFL recap from last night. Also, told you earlier in the week there was a with the debate about a young man, or quarterback, was he going to be able to make – he's transferring. I will just tell you right now, Vernon Adams has passed his final exam for Eastern Washington, completing his undergraduate degree and opening the door for his transfer to Oregon in time to play for the Ducks. Now, the final math test was scheduled for yesterday at Eastern Washington. The entire country was waiting to see. What do you think the chances he was going to fail that test? Not very likely. Trust me. You say what you want, imply what you want. This guy was going to pass that test for Eastern Washington so he can transfer and be ready to go as one of the top quarterbacks in the country and taking over for Marcus Mariota for the Oregon Duck football team. But he had to pass this exam at Eastern Washington, a math test yesterday, which he did, and so now he's cleared to play. What were the chances he was going to flunk that test? Not very likely. That was a foregone conclusion. He would pass that test, and he'd be in the Oregon Duck uniform probably by tomorrow for practice. So he has. Quick break. We'll be right back. We've got more for you here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. NFL preseason last night. Who did what? How did guys do? Former Bristol Motor Speedway employee moving on, taking on a presidential role in a new speedway, which is really cool, or a different speedway, which is very neat. Jack Roush says he's got himself a red-hot driver. All that, Jeff Birchfield straight ahead in a few minutes, giving us our Michigan preview for the NASCAR Spring Cup season coming up tonight. Or not tonight, but this weekend. Qualifying is tonight. And then also a little bit later on, we'll check in with who else we got. We got, Carmichael is going to be with us here in a little while as well. Coming up next, Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse. We'll be right back after you hear this from our great sponsors of Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show here on this Friday. One ringy-dingy, talking to our buddy Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City for a few minutes. There he is, our buddy Bob, with us live on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, well, listen, I'm having a good day. I found everything I need to ship, and that's always cheerful when you're pulling a bunch of books and you make sure you're going to ship them right. Anyway.
Yeah,
that's my other job.
Yeah, tell us about that before we get into matters at hand. Tell us about you shipping online.
1,000 books online, and we average about 200 a week. We sell through Amazon, 8 Books, and Libris, and Biblio. And I've got multiple copies in one section and single copies in another section. And sometimes the system fails us, but today everything worked. And if you ever see anything online when you're looking up something on Amazon that says Book Lovers Warehouse, call a store. We'll bring it over to the store, and you'll save yourself $4 shipping.
And that number is 979-1020. We're talking to Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. NASCAR coming in here next week. Tell us about the NASCAR books that you've got on sale at Book Lovers Warehouse.
Well, I probably have, 25, 30 titles. Most of them are large coffee table books. They make nice gift books. A couple of them are still shrink wrapped. Originally sold from $50 to $90, and in the store we'll sell them $12, $14, something in that neighborhood. You buy one, you get another one half price. So if you see a book you like and you know of somebody who's a NASCAR fan that loves to go to the races or listen to them on the radio or however you deal with it, or even travel all over the South going to NASCAR, get them one of these books. It's a good buy, and they're a bargain, and I think you'll enjoy it, and somebody will really appreciate it.
We're talking to Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. Again, with us here on this Friday. Again, he's located in between Johnson City and Jonesboro on 11E, right there beside Harbor Freight Tools. And you go from the NASCAR books, got them on sale, buy one, get the other one half price. Is that correct?
Right.
And then you go from that to Christian fiction. Tell me about that. That's a big section. You move a lot of books out of that section.
Well, for the square foot of space that we have in there, we have about 20 bookcases full of Christian fiction, and they're for not just women. There's a lot of mystery Christian fiction too, and a lot of great authors. And we turn that section over theoretically about every 2 months. Everything in there. Certain things go 3 or 4 times, and certain authors will sell out, and we have women bringing them in. We have men bringing them in. Christian fiction is just a great fiction book with a Christian bend to it, and we find that people love that, especially with everything so full of sex and pornography and stuff like that. The Christian fiction is really a great, exciting book to read, and if you have some, bring them in for trade. Unless we have 5 or 6 in the back, we'll give you half of whatever we sell them for. And then if you bring in 2, you get 1. So Christian fiction is one of our best-selling sections.
We're talking to Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City, one of our great sponsors. Coming up, we got stories about Snoop Dogg. He's made the sports news this morning, the rapper. Talk about him, and also Jeff Gordon. We're going to commemorate him big time next week at Bristol Motor Speedway, his last race. Of course, he's retiring to go up into the broadcast booth. So Jeff Gordon, there's a big announcement. We'll tell you all about that coming up here in a few minutes. We're talking to Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse. And, Bob, let's talk about that bag sale. That's coming up not this weekend, but next weekend. This thing is huge. Tell me about it.
Well, we're going to start setting it up Wednesday. We've got 3,000 or 4,000 books we're going to set out there. We really do have a lot of books in the store. We're just taking out there more than we can fit on the shelves. And a bag, it's a large grocery bag, a paper bag. You fill that up, and if you pack it carefully, you can get about 40 to 50 paperbacks in it. If you go for hardcover or textbooks, you can get 10 to 15 hardcover in there. So your cost of buying the books this way is really minimal. But what it really does is that when Harbor Freight's doing their big sale and we're doing our bag sale, we get a lot of new customers. And traditionally, people go buy a bag of books, and then they come in the store and see what we got, and they're just so amazed. They buy 8 or 9 books out of the store. So it's our way of getting new customers in the store and moving some of the stuff we don't have room for on the shelves anymore. So the bag sale is going to be a big deal. There's a lot of great stuff in there. There's a lot of health, a lot of sports, a lot of everything in there you can imagine. And a lot of duplicates, a lot of that we have. We'll put some of them out there in the bag sale. So come in and get something. And if you find more than you think you can use, think of a friend and just say, what do they like? They like romance. They like a mystery. And we'll have all kinds of books out there.
Talking to Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse again. We appreciate him being with us, one of our great sponsors. In fact, he'll be with us with Bristol Live next week. We start our coverage on Wednesday. Bob, before I let you go, you sell a bunch of records. Now, there's been a couple of record shops that may have temporarily shut down and are no longer in business around the region, which means more and more records coming your way, which is awesome. And you got a ton of records, genre. You got them jazz, country, rock and roll, you name it, you've got it. And tell me about the great record collection you've got at Book Lovers Warehouse.
What's neat about the record section is you can go in the western section or the country section and the jazz in the same place, and you'll find artists that may not be here anymore, or you'll find an artist that's looks like me. I've got white hair. You'll find them when they're in their 20s and 30s, and open up that sleeve and look inside, make sure it looks good. People are buying these. They're putting them in frames. They're hanging them on the wall. They're giving them as gifts. So, and I've said this probably before, but I had a boy come in, and he looked like he was 18 years old. He bought 10 big bands. He says, I listened to one on one of my dad's records, and I just love the sound of it. So he got some of the great big bands that were in the 40s and the 50s, and people are discovering records. They've got better sound, they last a lot longer, and they make artwork. People are turning them into artwork. So come in and see what kind of. We've got rock and roll, we've got country, we've got gospel, we've got even language records. So if you have the time to look through our records, I'm sure you'll find something great, because I've got probably 20 people come in every week or every 2 weeks and buy 5 or 6 at a time, because it's hard to find them.
You got it, but he's got them, and they're open 7 days a week at Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. Bob, what are the hours you open, my friend?
We open at 10 in the morning. We stay till 7 o'clock at night. We'll stay as long as you want to look. On Sunday, we open at noon. We stay till 6.
There you go. And the bag sale's not this weekend, but next weekend. We'll talk more about that on Monday when he joins us again. Of course, he'll be with us on the Bristol Live show next week. We'll talk a lot about it then on the bag sale. Bob, great report, my friend. Sell, and I'll talk to you Monday, all right?
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir. Good man right there. Appreciate him. I admire that man. I tell you what, he does a great job, and he runs a great bookstore. And it's right beside Harbor Freight Tools, again, in Johnson City, between Johnson City and Jonesboro on 11-8. And you heard about it right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Good morning to you. It's Friday, day number 127 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Like us and follow us. Go to Facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show, and there we be. Huh? Love it, love it, love it, love it. By the way, I moved across so you can see it now, right below the Thundering Herd, so make it much more prominent. Because, again, just like Phil Robertson said on Duck Dynasty, this show will go as far as he wants it to go, and it's going, so to say the least. Brand new sponsor on board, the good folks at, yes, I love it, Blue Lizard. Yes, Australian sunscreen. Love it, love it, love it. As I said earlier, going to be in the pool this weekend, slathering myself up with some Blue Lizard, and it's made right here in Johnson City. The Tri-Cities, goes all over the world. We're going to have Jeff on, and a week after next, going to have him be on a semi-regular basis from Blue Lizard, talking about the importance, going into the winter. Summertime's the obvious, but the sun here in the region's actually stronger. I know it is here, maybe all over the United States, but certainly here in the region, it's stronger in the winter and more damaging in the winter are the sun's rays than they are in the summer. I don't know if you knew that. So if you're going to be out and about in the fall and the summer, getting ready to go down and watch football at UT or Science Hill or wherever, you need to have yourself slathered up with sunscreen if you're going to be out in the sun on a day game. And so we'll talk more about that. But Blue Lizard, one of our brand new sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, they're going to be on Bristol Live, and also, as we said, going to be on Science Hill football 2 weeks from tonight. Hilltoppers are right here, and we're excited about that, to say the least. Let me tell you what, they're big and they're good. It's going to be a lot of fun to cover them home and away for Science Hill football 2015. Then we'll roll right into basketball and baseball and some volleyball, get it all for you. And, of course, next week, the focal point of my life, I don't know about your life, hope it is Bristol Motor Speedway, front and center. So we'll be up there all next week. We'll do the show here Monday and Tuesday in studio, then shut her down for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll be up there for Bristol Live next week, and then reconvene here week after next on Monday, the 24th? Yep, and so we'll just keep on keeping on. As we told you, Snoop Dogg. And we had a story earlier in the month, during the summer. Remember, Snoop Dogg went in, of course, there again, he got off of what he shouldn't have got off of. He went and beat up or assaulted, I guess would be the right word to use, the weightlifting coach. Now, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. If I'm going to go and pick a fight in a football facility, the last guy I'm going to go up and smart off to and jack my jaws to would be the strength coach, but he did. Anyway, his son has said, I'm out. Cordell Broadus, B-R-O-A-D-U-S, the son of rapper Snoop Dogg and a 4-star prospect coming out of a high school in Las Vegas, has quit the UCLA football team. confirming the report, further noting that he has given up football altogether. He's gone. He's going to the house. I'd say Dad's going to make him a rapper, would be my guess. Broadus did not report to fall camp, though he did show up to campus for summer classes, indicating the U.S. Army All-American is enrolled at UCLA. He was not expected to make an immediate impact on the football team. But losing a 4-star wide receiver, regardless of his notoriety, is rarely seen in a positive light for the program. So Snoop Dogg and his boy are gone. They've taken their football and gone home. Who? Oh, man, I can't believe this thing's busted. Dadgummit. Try it again. Yeah, it's kind of a weak. All right, we're heading someplace to get a new bell. I wonder how that... Yeah, anyway. That's better. Anyway, Snoop Dogg and his son's gone. Cordell and Snoop Dogg have taken the football and gone home. They're leaving UCLA. They're out. And so he's quitting football altogether and is going to go in a different direction. Tom Taylor Sports Show. As we told you, next week it's the final run for Jeff Gordon on the high banks of Bristol. Again, making his final run as he'll retire and go into the broadcast booth. Bristol's going to commemorate his final race, welcoming Jeff Gordon to his final battle in the Last Great Coliseum. Urban Tools Night Race, the first time in years, guests will get to see Gordon run his iconic Rainbow Warrior paint scheme. It'll be his last appearance at Bristol Motor Speedway as a full-time Sprint Cup driver. A tribute video during opening ceremonies will be for Jeff Gordon from Bristol. Check this out, a fan salute on lap number 24 of the race. Is that not cool? That is cool. Kudos again to Bristol Motor Speedway. Lap 24 of the race, fans will cheer on the number 24 car with branded Riley towels. Over 100,000 towels will be distributed to the gates, courtesy of Bristol Motor Speedway. Branding of the outside track wall with number 24. A custom-designed cover for the souvenir program, created by motorsports artist Sam Bass, featuring Gordon's number 24 Exalta Chevrolet. Program's a limited edition and are available for $10. Also, collector's T-shirts going to be available in Speedway World, located at the Bruton Smith Building, and in select souvenir stands on the grounds. A tribute wall, located in the fan zone where guests can leave personalized notes. Signage throughout the facility will also honor the champion. Is that not cool? Lap 24. There's going to be 100,000 towels on lap 24. Fans will cheer him on lap 24. The number 24, obviously, rainbow paint scheme for Jeff Gordon. And that is really neat. That is class. Once again, Bristol Motor Speedway does it like nobody else. Lap number 24, 100,000 Riley towels will be waving and cheering on Jeff Gordon. If that doesn't put a lump in his throat, I don't know what would, because that will be a great testimony, whether you like the guy or not. Some don't like him, some love him. He's been a great ambassador for NASCAR and for the sport, and in particular the Sprint Cup Series, no question. And so what would be really neat, I think, from a sentimental standpoint, for him to win that race up there next Saturday night, a week from tomorrow night, but that remains to be seen, obviously, but that's going to be cool. Fan salute on lap 24 of the race, where fans will cheer on the 24 car with branded Riley towels. More than 100,000 towels will be distributed in the gates. So you imagine going around hitting lap number 24. He knows it's coming, by the way, obviously, since we're reporting it. You look up in the stands, see 100,000 folks waving towels with your number on it, saying, "Thank you, Jeff, for giving us all those great runs in Bristol." I believe he'd have a tear in his eye, or two or three. I would. I mean, why would you not? You're only human. What a great testament to a gentleman who's been a great ambassador for the sport, whether you like him or not. Just like Kyle Busch, some of these other guys, whether you like him or not, the guy can drive a race car. That's proven with his championship. So, anyway, that's coming up next Saturday night. Even more reason to get your tickets. We're going to have the blackout. Everybody's going to be asked to wear black T-shirts. That's going to be cool. The whole Speedway fans wearing black. That's going to be really sharp. And then here's the Riley towel on lap number 24 in honor of Jeff Gordon, more than 100,000 towels. That's going to be cool. Those will be visual spectacles, for lack of a better term, which would mean you would want to be up there in the stands enjoying this next Saturday night. 423-BRISTOL or bristoltix.com, or the number to call, or the website to go to get those tickets. And I was trying to find out what I did with it. Oh, this is right here. Let's see. Nope. I'll find it. The pricing here is here somewhere. Moved everything around this morning. I bet it's right up here. Imagine that, right where it's supposed to be. Thank you. Again, Urban Tools Night Race. Again, you've got the for my money, the doubleheader. starting on Friday night with the Food City 300 and the Bass Pro Shop pole qualifying on Friday afternoon, and then also the Urban Tools Night Race. Those tickets for 2 races, 800 laps at Bristol starts at $99. If you just want to go to the Urban Tools Night Race, those start at $79 and go up depending where you want to sit. And you can go everywhere from the backstretch, although I think those are pretty well sold out. Wallace Tower, aluminum seats, red chair backs, black chair backs are available. But, again, and this is not hype, I'm telling you, these tickets are moving up there for a lot of reasons, that being one of them. All the hoopla is going to be going on that race on Saturday evening. You got Michael Buffer, driver intros. You've got the, for my money, United States Marine Silent Drill Team's going to be there performing. University of Tennessee Pride of the Southland Band's going to be there. The Virginia Tech Hokie Band's going to be there on Saturday evening. You've got, again, the U.S. Marine. You can go to the website, Tom Taylor Sports Show, and Horace put up a, what do you call it, a clicker? Not a clicker, but we can click onto it and watch it. These guys are amazing. Amazing. United States Marine Corps Silent Band, or Silent Drill Team, not the band, but the Silent Drill Team. They're going to be there next Saturday evening. Michael Buffer's doing driver intros. Jeff Gordon's final night with a tribute to him. You got the flyover, you got the patriotic. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm going to be part of it. I'm telling you, it's going to be a special, special night. The last time we had a special night, it was who went first, Rusty Wallace or Dale Jarrett? Can't remember which one retired first. We had a card flip for Rusty. We were in charge of that, getting the fans to flip those cards and say, thanks, Rusty. Dale Jarrett, we did a tribute night to him on his final night at Bristol Motor Speedway. This may top those. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps. This may top it. Jeff Gordon last night, next Saturday nights. For all those reasons, it's going to be a great. Plus, I didn't even tell you about the Steven Tyler concert. That's going to be before everything gets started. So, going to be a good night. Tickets are available, 423 Bristol, Bristol Tix, TIX.com. So, you would be a silly goose, as my little person would say, if you don't get your tickets for next Saturday night at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Urban Tools Night Race. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us here again on this Friday. Coming up, Jeff Birchfield joins us in a few minutes. Give us a NASCAR preview. He does. Also, Jack Roush coming up. Roush says, I got a driver's red hot. I got to do something with him here. This guy can drive a race car. I'll tell you who that is coming up here in a few minutes. Also, we have a story. Geno Smith, get the very latest on Geno coming up here in a few minutes. Also, an NFL recap. And then also a college basketball coach in trouble. Been kicked off the team. We'll tell you about that. I want to talk about a good thing. We started the Barry Bonds and how arrogant and pompous he is with his comments. At least I think that. On the flip side, I want to tell you about a good guy. And apparently he is. Whether you like this guy or not, he can play basketball. And whether you like him or not, he obviously has a big heart. LeBron James, teaming up with the University of Akron to provide scholarships to inner-city kids through his foundation. That's pretty cool. Hit the bell. Hope it works. No, maybe not today. Try it again. There you go. I see I got to pull the little deflutch up. Yeah, I don't know how that got broke, but it got broke. All right, LeBron James, teaming up with the University of Akron to provide scholarships to inner-city children through his foundation. James and Akron President Scott Scarborough made the announcement yesterday at Cedar Point Amusement Park, where the LeBron James Family Foundation hosted a reunion for thousands of mostly poor kids, their parents, and friends of Akron. Paid to get them into the amusement park. That's not cheap. We are giving you guys free scholarships, James said on stage. That means so much to me and so much to these kids. Scholarships will be paid by the university. Will be worth about $9,500 per year to cover tuition and Akron's general services fee. They will be available to Akron public school students who are under James' mentorship and will meet certain academic and service qualifications. So he's going to pony up money for these kids in Akron to go with inner city children and the University of Akron, $9,500 per year to cover tuition and Akron's general services fee. Very classy by LeBron James. Going to take care of that for the kids up in Akron, Ohio, which, again, very, very nice touch. And obviously he is a good guy, I would think. So, I would know he is to do those kind of things. So you go from the Barry Bonds and Snoop Dogg's to LeBron James. And so we appreciate those folks very much. College football got some Nebraska Cornhuskers in trouble. Yep. So there again, I hear from time to time you always pick on Florida State. No, not really. They're just in the news. Mike Riley, the football coach in Nebraska, made headlines without realizing it. The new Nebraska coach had to address a report by confirming news he apparently wasn't ready to share. 5 players getting suspended for the Huskers season opener against BYU. Turns out the 5 players are indeed suspended. Riley would not name them, nor set a timetable for the return to the team. Okay. I don't know if that's an illegal thing where you can't name names, but he says, I'm not going to tell you who they are. But there's 5 guys that are not going to make that first game. So we'll see. Given Riley's warm relationship with the media while at Oregon State, this kind of misunderstanding is not surprising, but the mix-up's gotten him some brownie points to the Cornhusker fans who are not used to head coaches being so forthcoming when it comes to information about the program. They open up against BYU on September the 5th. And anyway, he's got 5 Cornhuskers that are not going to be playing that first game, but he's yet to reveal who those folks are. So there you go. That's what's happening in the land of the Huskers. The Nebraska Cornhuskers with a new coach, and Bo's gone, and now you've got Mike Riley in and had to do some disciplinary action against 5 Cornhuskers who won't be ready to go in that first game against BYU. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, thanks for being with us again on this Friday. Already we talked to Stacy Carter, head football coach at Science Hill. Also Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse. Jeff Birchfield joins us coming up in a few minutes. We'll get his take on the NASCAR Michigan preview coming up this weekend. Trucks and the Cup Series in Michigan. Xfinity Series is on the road in Lexington, Ohio. We'll talk to Birchfield about that coming up in a little while. Also, we'll be checking in with my man Carmichael on the quiz show, see what he allows here on this Friday, see how I can do on the quiz show where I've not done very well this week. Well, I shouldn't say that. Tuesday went 5 for 5. Over my shoulder, you said big 9 up here now. Up there you go. C9, C13. Wait a minute. I don't do good with the camera. Let's see, I would be going that way. 13, and then 9. 9 for me, 13 all told on the Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance scoreboard. Very excited about that. Again, on the wall behind us, Milligan College. See us over my left shoulder, over my right shoulder. The Raiders, they play tonight. UT, also ETSU. I got to move the Virginia Tech logo. It's up. You can't see it. I got to move it during the show, and I'll do that. And then, of course, Thundering Herd, we are Marshall. The Thundering Herd. And then, of course, the big one over there to there. We are Marshall, and right above it, the Raiders tonight against the Rams. We'll talk more about the NFL. Kind of recap what happened last night. Aaron Rodgers, a little surprised. He got a lot of PT. The guy was out there, had 19 pass attempts, had 11 completions, had 117 yards on the night. Packers beat the Patriots. We'll talk about that coming up here in a few minutes. But a little surprised he got that many reps, being the first preseason game. But and of course the Jets, as expected, got creamed. They got major problems. Geno Smith now out. And, again, he went and had surgery on that broken jaw. And so Jets only put up 3 points on a field goal last night of their loss. So we'll go down and recap all the NFL preseason games from last night. And also it'll be coming up in the next hour. And then also set the stage for what's going on tonight in the NFL preseason, week number 1, night number 2, the preseason. Big games last night, or big schedule last night, and more big games coming up tonight for NFL preseason football, including, as we said, the Silver and Black is back. They're going to run the table. I'm telling you, they're going to be a better football team. And come January, you're going to be going, hate to admit it, the old Cowboys right. They had a pretty good year. 3-13, you would think, and you would say, well, how can it get any worse? Well, they can be 0-16. But 3-13, there's definitely room for improvement, and there will be. The Raiders will start tonight. Jack Del Rio read his quotes last night after the final practice before this game, said, it's got to start today. We can't wait to the first day of the season when it counts. We got to set the precedent tomorrow night against the Rams at home in front of our fans who, they want changes. There have been a lot of boo birds last couple of years in Oakland Coliseum. It starts tonight for us. This is the real deal. It's an important game to kind of set the momentum of this new coaching staff at Jack Del Rio. So it'll be good tonight. And I got, as I've told you all week long, a lunch bet with my man Rob Cole, who's a big Rams fan from Bays Mountain Park. And so we put a lunch bet on it from, where did we say we're going to go? Oh, Clark's Grocery over there in Sullivan Gardens. So anyway, it's on, and we'll be ready to go with that tonight. And we'll report to you on Monday how the Raiders mopped up the Rams in NFL preseason football. Quick break. We'll be right back. Our man Jeff Birchfield's due to join us next. Talk a little NASCAR here on this Friday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. I asked owner Richard Isaacs, is there a template or is the sky the limit?
Pretty much the sky's the limit. We have a very good drawing system that you come in, tell me what you want. If you have a set of house plans that you're working with, you're building a new house, we can take it off the house plans, we can draw it up, do you 3D drawings where you can see exactly where all the doors, the drawers, the color of the cabinets, kind of get close to the color of the countertops in your drawings. Go over that with you, then you can say, well, Richard, let's change this. I'd rather for that door to open the other way, or I want that cabinet to be bigger, that cabinet to be smaller. We can customize it to your needs. You know, it's all about what the customer wants. We want them to be happy when they leave here.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here. With the ratio, it goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111. And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Friday. Again, we're getting ready to check with my man right now, as a matter of fact. I was moving that Virginia Tech logo so you could see it a little bit better, and you can behind me. So trying to do a little housekeeping job here, so time got away from it. And here we go. Let's get in with Birchfield, talk a little NASCAR. Yeah, I'm ready about the Michigan race coming up. Kurt Busch won it first time out, so back for the race number 2 here this season. So at Michigan International Speedway. 2 ringy-dingies for Jeff Birchfield. 3 ringy-dingies.
Hey, Tom.
There he is, our buddy Jeff Birchfield, live on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Doing well, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for checking in with us. And, hey, let's get right to it. Michigan International Speedway, Kurt Busch won that race back in June. And, again, pretty dominating performance there. So let's talk about Michigan. Who typically runs well heading into Michigan this weekend?
Michigan, like you said, Kurt Busch, those Stuart Haas cars should be pretty strong up there. Kevin Harvick. Lately, you know, the Team Penske's really been running strong. It's always been a good track for Ford traditionally. And Joey Logano, I expect him, and Brad Keselowski, of course, that's the race in his home state. I expect those guys to be really tough this weekend.
I'm looking down this list. The guys, the last time they've won, Jeff Gordon hadn't won in 29 races. Greg Biffle, last race was in 13. He won at Michigan. He is a 79-race drought. Jeff Gordon hadn't won in 29 races. Kevin Harvick hasn't won in 18 races. He hadn't won since Phoenix of last year. So Phoenix of this year. So interesting. Some of these guys, Ryan Newman hadn't won a race in 74 starts. So some of these guys looking for a win, they need a win, right?
Yeah, they definitely need a win. Not so much for Harvick. I think he's locked into the chase, and they've probably been experimenting with a few things. But all those other guys you mentioned definitely could use a win. I know Gordon, he'd like to get that win, especially being his last season, get that out of the way. And then, like you said, Biffle, he's a guy that runs really well at Michigan, too. Biffle does traditionally. But, of course, those Roush Fenway cars just all year haven't been strong like the other Ford team with Team Penske. And then, the other guy you mentioned, Ryan Newman, he's a guy, too, that typically runs well on tracks where, you go really fast at.
We're talking to Jeff Birchfield again, our buddy from the John City Press, and NASCAR beat writer. Also looking here at this list, Clint Boyer has not won a race since 2012, 99 starts for Boyer. Jamie McMurray hadn't won a race since Talladega in 13, 62 races ago. So there's some guys hungry for a W, and maybe it'll happen this week again at Michigan International Speedway. Read the other day where it's the fastest track on the NASCAR circuit. Is that true? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, definitely, especially going into the corners. I mean, they'll hit speeds like over 210 miles an hour when they go into those corners at Michigan. And not as much as Daytona and Talladega, but the draft still does come to effect pretty big at Michigan.
It's interesting. I did not know that. Its fastest track on the circuit is Michigan International Speedway. We're talking to Jeff Birchfield. Again, we do this every week, but here we go again. As the chase gets ever so closer and things get tighter, who needs to have a good run this weekend in Michigan?
Well, you mentioned Jeff Gordon. I mean, I want to mention him and Casey Kane again, his teammate. I mean, both of those cars, which Gordon looks like, he's decent shape in the points, but Kane's really struggled. And that number 5 team just hasn't been able to get on track all year. You mentioned McMurray, the whole Ganassi organization with him, and Kyle Larson. They've been going through that sophomore slump. I mean, we've mentioned the Roush team seems like every week. Of course, Tony Stewart, he's had a miserable season. He's had a few good runs lately, but he's another one just struggled pretty much all year. And it doesn't necessarily have to win, but as mentioned in Roush, our guy out in Knoxville, Trevor Bain, he really needs to have a good run or two, pretty soon.
Speaking of Roush Fenway Racing, I think the pressure just got jacked up a little bit because today Jack Roush comes out and says we're going to find a place for Chris Buescher sooner than later.
You still there, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Oh, boy. We lose him again. Hello? Are you there? Well, hello, Jeffro. Are you there? All right. We'll try back here in a minute, but let's see here. Was that him trying me? Let's see. Lined up 3 rows deep to get into the Earnhardt campground, says Tommy Wyman. How about that? That's a good thing. All right. Let's see if we can't get him back here. And Jeff, are you still there?
I'm here now. I'm sorry about that. I always lose you. I must hit one dead spot right there.
There you go. So he's back, and I appreciate that. Just got a text from one of our listeners, one of our sponsors. They're 3 deep trying to get into the Earnhardt campground in Bristol, moving in the campers. We're going to have a big crowd, folks. I'm telling you. It's going to be a great weekend next weekend. We were talking about Roush Fenway. Jack Roush says, hey, 22-year-old Chris Buescher, we're going to find him a cup ride sooner than later. So who's that put the pressure on? Greg Biffle, Trevor Bain, or Ricky Stenhouse Jr., or can he add a 4th team?
I would think right now probably the pressure is on Trevor Bain more than any of those guys. Ricky Stenhouse, too, to an extent, but I think Trevor's the guy definitely under the gun if he doesn't, start performing better. He's probably going to be out of that 6-star pretty soon.
Yeah, so Trevor's got to have a good run this weekend. Young man out of Knoxville, as Jeff alluded to, and so more shuffling going on. Pressure's on. Is that safe to say as we get a little bit close to the chase? It's going to get really tight now, right?
Definitely the pressure's on, especially, you mentioned those guys who are close to the chase cutoff. I mean, the pressure's on those guys big time to either win or at least, have good runs where they can stay up in the point. Some of the guys, they can relax a little bit. Guys like Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, guys who have multiple wins, Joey Logano, they can just go out and race for wins now, not worry about it. Dale Jr. is another guy like that. But, those guys who are on the bubble, yes, the pressure is definitely on right now at this point of the season.
Talking to Jeff Birchfield again, the NASCAR beat writer for the John City Press here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Next week, announcing Bristol's going to commemorate Gordon's final race. I think this is really cool. Lap 24 of the race, the Cup race, Fans will cheer on the 24 car with 100,000 rally towels. They're going to pass out when you come to the gate. So when he hits that 24th lap, the fans will stand up and cheer the 24 car with 100,000 rally towels in the stands. I said earlier when I first read this that if I'm Jeff Gordon, I would think if I don't get emotional over that, I don't know what would, because that would really get to me, having all the fans of Bristol stand up and cheer me when I hit that 24th lap of the Cup race, my final race at Bristol. That would be, I think it'd be pretty special, Jeff Birchfield. I think it'd get to me a little bit.
Yeah, I think it definitely will to Jeff as well. You know, that it's funny with him. You know, he sort of went through that transformation. You know, you've had a lot of guys, you know, do this over the years. A lot of people tend to forget Darrell Waltrip through most of his career was really hated by the fans, and then he had that incident with Rusty Wallace down in Charlotte, like in 1989. He became really popular, you know, the last few years of his career. You know, a lot of people forget how controversial Dale Earnhardt Sr. was. You know, there were a lot of people didn't really like Dale Sr., you know, and then, you know, as more of those guys accomplish, I think fans they appreciate, you know, the guys once they get a little older and after they accomplish a lot. But, you know, when they're going through that streak and they're winning everything and they're beating all their favorite drivers, you know, a lot of times guys like Waltrip and Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, you know, are booed.
You look at the all-time wins. Again, we're talking to Jeff Birchfield. Of course, Petty with 200, Pearson with 105. Then comes Jeff Gordon with 92. Up next is Jimmy Johnson with 74. In your humble opinion, can Jimmy Johnson catch Jeff Gordon in the all-time wins? There's a differential of 18. Is that feasible for Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jimmy actually has a chance for second. There's two guys, you know, actually, I know you skipped over a couple of those guys like Darrell Waltrip's got 84, Bobby Allison 84, although Bobby will argue 85 because was a race, a Grand National, Grand American race back in the day where Bobby actually won the race, but he's not given credit for it. And then you've got Kelly Yarborough with 83 wins, Dale Earnhardt 76. So, but yeah, as far as Jimmy, I think he'll definitely catch Jeff. And then I think Jimmy's got a legitimate shot of giving Pearson a run for that number 2 spot, like with 105. But I say that, but then again, you know, Gordon at one time looked like he was in great shape to get up there at second place, and then the wins stopped coming, you know, for a while. So you never know, but I would think if anybody's got a shot of doing it, it'd be Jimmy.
Top 5 active drivers, by the way. Gordon's got 92 wins. JJ's got 74. Tony Stewart's got 48. Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth tied for 33 each. Kevin Harvick's got 30. Kurt Busch has got 27. And Denny Hamlin's got 25 in all-time wins. Before I let you go, give me your thoughts of the late Buddy Baker. We lost him this week at the age of 74 to lung cancer. And what was your relationship to Buddy Baker, again, losing him this week?
Well, Buddy is a guy I always grew up watching race. I don't know if you guys saw earlier in the week, I did this story like his connection to Johnson City, how Jess Potter, the car owner out of Johnson City, gave Buddy one of his first big breaks. And he was actually sponsored by Faircloth Chevrolet, which was a Chevrolet dealership in Johnson City at the time. And then Charlie McKay, a guy who also worked for Harry Gann on the Skull Bandit team, he worked with Buddy's team later in his career with the Red Baron team and the Crisco car. But, you know, Buddy's guy grew up watching race. I mean, just a hard charger. Great on those big tracks. You know, you go to Daytona, Talladega. I mean, he was always a factor down there. And, of course, I can remember that race, 1980, he won the Daytona 500. In that number 28 car, the Harry Raniero Oldsmobile that they nicknamed the Gray Ghost. You know, he, for a long time, stood as the fastest Daytona 500 ever, you know, Buddy Baker winning that year.
Pretty awesome stuff, again, and we appreciate you, as always, being spot on with all the great reports you give us. And, again, getting this text, we got 3 deep trying to get into the Earhart Campground at Bristol a week before the race. I would think that's a good sign of the kind of crowd we're going to have, wouldn't you think?
I think so. I mean, I think I don't know if they'll get it to sell out, but I think it's going to be pretty close. I mean, it's going to be a huge, massive crowd at Bristol. I mean, you know, and you hear those drivers say it all the time. I was up at Virginia Tech earlier this week, you know, and they were promoting both the Food City 300 Xfinity Series race and the football game. But like Ty Dillon was saying, there's really no place they race at like Bristol, and really no other stadium like Bristol around the country. As great a stadium as Neyland Stadium is, or Lane Stadium there at Virginia Tech, you know, it's going to be a spectacle next year when they have the football game there at Bristol as well.
Oh, there's no question. So they are In fact, Landon Owen told me Wednesday when we were there broadcasting at the Speedway that it's already even par of what they had last year. So I can't remember what the official count was last year, but they're there. So anything over and above that's going to surpass what they had last fall. That's a great sign. So, and the phones are ringing off the hook. But Jeff, if you look at it, my friend, you've got on Saturday Steven Tyler, Pride of the Southland Band. Tyler's in concert. Pride of the Southland Band's going to be there. The Virginia Tech Band's going to be there. United States Marine Silent Drill Team's going to be there. Michael Buffer doing driver intros. The Jeff Gordon Pomp and Circumstance for his final race. And, oh, by the way, on the track, you got a bunch of drivers. You know, I talked last week. We kind of came up with about 10 or 12 drivers that could figure into winning this race based on their past success at Bristol. So, and you can always have somebody kind of come up in a sleeper, a dark horse. But you got 10, 12 guys out there battling for this race, for this, and of course for the chase. So all the ingredients, you put them in the bag and shake them up. All the ingredients are there for a heck of a night next Saturday night. It's no question.
Yeah, no question about it. And I mean, I think that's one reason Bristol ticket sales are so good. I mean, you know, people complained for a long time after they changed the track. The racing wasn't that great. You know, they didn't like the style of racing. But, you know, the track's changed. I mean, they're no longer racing right at the bottom. They're having to race at the top. But as far as ferocity of the racing and hard racing and guys beating and banging, knocking each other out of the way, I mean, the last two races we've seen, old Bristol's been back in a lot of ways. And, you know, I think the fans, you know, it's definitely the most popular racetrack on the circuit.
You got them coming down that backstretch, 3 wide at 115, 16, 20 miles an hour and get off that gas in the turns, and they're in there from, 2 or 3 feet away from each other or closer. You can't beat that racing. That's good stuff. Jeff, thank you, my friend. Great job. I'll talk to you next week, and have a great weekend, all right? All right, I think we lost him again. Jeff Birchfield again, but we got him, and we got the crux of what we needed to talk about, and he did a great job. We appreciate him very much. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, we're in hour number 3 of a 3-hour, hour number 2, I should say, of a 3-hour visit each and every weekday from 11 to 2. Brought to you by one of the great sponsors, Bracken Asphalt Maintenance and Paving at 323-8726 is the number to call. Tom's going to be with us again on the Bristol Live Show, he and Spencer, and they've sponsored us again. We appreciate that next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, along with the Apester and Sarah. And so now's the time. I think he told me, weather permitting, they kind of wind things down October, early November, which is not that far away. So point being, if you want your driveway sealed or if you want paving done, either or some crack filling to make sure that, you know, the old H2O water is the path of least resistance. That goes where it's easiest to go to. And so, you know, if you remember last year in the winter, gosh, I hate to even think about winter. I'm loving this weather. However, the good Lord put 4 seasons into play, and season number 3 is around the corner. That would be autumn, and then winter to follow. So all the freezing, thawing. So that really plays havoc on your driveway and the parking lot. So now's the time to go in and fill those cracks. So when that starts again this winter, and it will, it'll freeze and it'll thaw, and that really does damage to asphalt. So, hey, give them a call, 323-8726. Let the Apesters set Tommy up with an appointment to come see you, whether it's residential, church, business, parking lots, driveways. Passed one the other day over in North Johnson City near Science Hill. Had a big yellow sign in the yard, said another Bracken asphalt maintenance / paving job done. That big bright yellow sign in the yard, And so 323-8726 is the number to call to get yourself on the list for quotes. And again, it's all weather permitting, but typically, you know, you can't hold me to it, but on the average, it's late April, maybe early November when things wind down. So that's not that far away. So get on the list, get a quote done, and have them come out and get your driveway or parking lot ready to go for winter. Do I have to say that? Old man winter? Golly, Neds. 9 below and snow last February. I'll never forget that. And I'm liking this outside. Yeah, it's hot and it's muggy. Whole lot easier for me to cool down than it is to heat up. So anyway, it's coming, and you need to make sure your parking lot driveway is ready, and they can help you at 323-8726 is the number to call. Coming up, we got more of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Basketball recruit, big one. Another big one coming in for East Tennessee State University, this time from Memphis. From Memphis, baby. Over there where Elvis is from, of course. And so we'll talk about that. Also, we've got the NFL preseason. We'll tell you all about that. A coach in trouble, college basketball coach in big-time trouble. A former Bristol Motor Speedway employee now landing a new job, and that's very exciting. He's very deserving, class act, And again, also, as we said earlier, we're going to give a little bit more into it. Jack Roush says, got to get this Chris Buescher kid up on the Cup Series sooner than later. That means either Biffle's in trouble, or I don't think he's in trouble. He's kind of the cornerstone of the team now. Trevor Bain would be in trouble, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would be in trouble because Buescher's coming. This guy leads the Xfinity Series points right now, heading to Ohio this weekend. And so, the heat's on. So not only you have everybody else to contend with, now you look over your shoulder in your own camp and see an up-and-comer. So I would think it put added pressure on you as a driver. I don't think there's any question when you have another employee that's breathing down your neck and having a heck of a year. I think it's just kind of a no-brainer. That's like, Rutro, we better get it together. And so that's where they are. So quick break. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us. Coming up in about 10 minutes, quiz show. Carmichael, quiz show. What do you say is going to be NFL preseason football, which is what we're going to talk about coming up next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Thanks for being with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Friday, day number 127, our Fun and Frolic, one of our great sponsors. Again, thank you to the great folks at Mike's Medicine Mart. Make tracks to Mike's and you do. Got to be out and about. Football season right around the corner. Make sure you got some Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen. That is terrible. Terrible English accent. Jolly good. Get you some Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen. Made here in the Tri-Cities, I say. Crocodile Dundee. It's terrible. Anyway, we welcome Blue Lizard Sunscreen. Great folks. We got stories coming up. Butch Jones, not a happy camper. He's mad at the media. He is jacked up with the media, as a matter of fact. We'll tell you about that. Football coach at Tennessee. Also, a little closer to home, we got a story for you about yet another basketball recruit, another big one, coming in for Steve Forbes at East Tennessee State University. And they continue to add big bodies, and that's exciting for this Buccaneer basketball team for 15-16. And so we will tell you more about that coming up here in a little while on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. College basketball coach in trouble. Maryland women's basketball assistant Bryce McKee accused of sexual abuse by a former player he coached while he was at Xavier. McKee, 29, arraigned Friday in Kenton County, Kentucky, on a misdemeanor charge of sexual abuse in the third degree. He's been suspended from the program in Maryland. Charge stems from the May 2nd incident involving a 20-year-old Xavier women's basketball player McKee, who had held the same position with Xavier since 2011, invited the player to his Covington, Kentucky home. Okay, here's red flags. Number one, why would he do that? And number two, why would she go? That's the more important. Why would a coach invite a 20-year-old player to his home under the ruse of a farewell request when he touched her inappropriately? And you kind of know where this goes from here. I'm going to get into all the details and all the graphics, but don't need to. You got a good not a good imagination, but you can figure things out. And so McKee, here's the problem. McKee handled recruiting duties while Xavier and had known the first accuser since late in grade school. So now there's two women have come out. A second Xavier player claims she was invited to McKee's home after the compliant left May 2nd. She also alleges McKee sexually abused her but has not yet filed charges. Now, Walter Madison, the attorney for these two ladies, says, quote, he developed a close relationship with her and her parents, which is really the crux of all the trail and the breaking of trust. They really treated him well, and they trusted him with their daughter. So he, again, forged a relationship with her and her parents, the second young lady, and apparently offered her alcohol, and just you can imagine where we went with this. So she has filed sexual abuse charges. Former Xavier basketball player, 20 years old, Bryce McKee, indefinitely suspended from the Maryland team. He was hired as an assistant coach at Maryland this summer, as a matter of fact. So now he has been suspended indefinitely from that program. So the old adage, where there's smoke, there's fires. There's problems here for Bryce McKee, to say the least. And again, you just got to think it through here. But why would he invite her? I mean, I know why. I know what his agenda was, his modus operandi. But why would the girl go to his house? Invited the player to his Covington, Kentucky home. He coached in Xavier, which is where? In Cincinnati? Covington's not that far away. It's across the river from Cincinnati. So it's not like there's a lot of travel time involved. But there again, why would you go? But I guess he had not shown himself, quote unquote, up to this point to be out of line. But apparently he got out of line pretty quick. She's filed charges. He's out, again, suspended indefinitely from the Maryland women's basketball program. Assistant coach Bryce McKee, accused of sexual abuse by a former player he coached while at Xavier. And so now I guess you would say he's in deep water. And I guess he should be. I don't guess he should be. That's exactly what all's happened. But again, in this country, we are allegedly innocent until proven guilty, although sometimes we wonder that folks have already signed, sealed, and delivered people from time to time, but as far as their conviction. But right now, this guy's innocent until proven guilty, and we'll have to see what happens with that. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us again on this Friday morning, now Friday afternoon, with you till 2 o'clock. This will be put up on the Cyber Nebulous this afternoon, the iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and also YouTube. Science Hill football 2 weeks from tonight. Hard to believe, but I'm ready. Of course, between now and then, we have lots and lots of duties to fulfill, and can't wait to do those as well, Bristol Motor Speedway. But high school football 2 weeks from tonight. Science Hill hosting the Elizabethton Cyclones, and we'll have it for you right here, streaming internet, and it'll be great all over the world. We'll bring you Science Hill Hilltopper football. We will announce our broadcast team next week. We're still putting those together. Got some folks that are definitely interested in being part of our broadcast team. And we have some sideline reporters and everything we've done before. We were at Sullivan South. We're now at Science Hill. And we will have, and we did the same thing when we were at DB way back in the day. We will have sideline reporters, a stat man, the whole kit and caboodle, a complete package to bring you Science Hill football come 2 weeks from tonight, August the 28th, as we get ready with the lid lifter of the 2015 season. We had Coach Carter on earlier in the show. If you missed it, he is heading down to Knox Catholic tonight for a scrimmage. A young man who's transferred from Dobbins-Minute into the Johnson City school system, King Russell, a big burly running back who's a bruiser, to say the least, running back for Dobbins-Minute now with Science Hill in the transfer. He's now on the team, and he will be traveling with him to Knox Catholic tonight. I think Coach Carter says he's been there a couple of days. So transfer, again, happened between Kingsport and Johnson City. He is now, as we said, in the fold at Science Hill, adds a new dimension to the football team. And so they'll scrimmage at Knoxville, at Knox Catholic this afternoon, and a game-like situation with officials and whistles and scoreboard and the whole deal. And Knox Catholic's a very good football team. So is Science Hill. Back-to-back Big 7 titles, a state quarterfinal appearance a year ago. So it'll be a good test for both teams, not just for Catholic. Everybody says, well, we're going down to play Knox Catholic. Well, down there they're saying Science Hill's coming down to play us, and they ain't no cream puff, and they're not. So as I asked Coach Carter earlier in the show, I said, we don't back down. We accept all challenges. He said, we accept all challenges. We don't back down. So I don't know if you know this about Stacy Carter. He was a paratrooper in Desert Storm with the United States Army. So if you ever get him to sit down and talk about that, he doesn't open up about it much, but when he does, it's interesting. And so he has been there, seen it obviously, in much more tougher situations than coaching a football team. So he's to go from being a paratrooper in Desert Storm to a football coach, not a whole lot gets, he gets revved up like all of us do, but at the end of the day, it would take a lot to get him revved up, given the fact he's been in some pretty tough situations as a paratrooper behind the enemy lines in Desert Storm. So anyway, that's Coach Carter, and he's there tonight. We'll get a report on that, let you know how things went on Monday. In studio Monday and Tuesday. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we shut this down and head up to Bristol for Bristol Live, brought to you by Yates Nationwide Agency. Also brought to you by Food City, also by Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Was there yesterday, got the number 6 3-piece chicken strips. They may have the best tea anywhere. I'm telling you, I drink tea over there like a camel. It is awesome. I'm chugging it. That big old cup, I don't get the little cup, I get the big cup, and I'm throwing down the tea. Their iced tea, sweet tea, is awesome. They put a slice of orange in it if you request, and it gives a little kick to it. And man, it is good. And that's where I'm headed today. After the show, I'm going to Chick-fil-A. They're in the Crossings. Probably get me a frozen lemonade, some waffle fries, a fruit cup, 3-piece, that number 6, the chicken strips, and a big old tea about this big, and chug it, because they make some good tea at Chick-fil-A in the Crossings there in North Johnson City. Tom Taylor Sports Show, quick break. We'll come right back. We'll talk NFL football with Carmichael and also the quiz show. Oh, boy. NFL preseason, I think is what he told me is going to be the topic. Can I go 5 for 5? And we will see. I'm looking forward to it, see if we can do it. Coming up next. But first, our buddy Tim Smith from American Import and Auto Repair on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Friday. Coming up, we got a story. Butch Jones has said not a happy camper in Knoxville. Didn't like the way things were reported about Marquez North and took exception to that. We'll tell you all about that. Also, new basketball recruit from East Tennessee State. Another big wide body for the Buccaneers. There's one you better get your tickets for, because I'm going to tell you, that's going to be a fun team to watch. They're big, and they're good. And so we'll talk about that again, obviously a little closer to college basketball season for the Buccaneers, but Coach Forbes getting it done at ETSU. That's exciting. So one ringy-dingy, he's right there, right on cue. You cannot get any better than that. My man Carmichael, good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I am doing great on a Friday afternoon. Beautiful Friday afternoon.
It is gorgeous. You're right. Get a little fall in the air. It's not quite as hot as normal. Now, let's run down a couple of sports topics. Barry Bonds says he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the greatness. Players, what was it I said? Let me get that story. Hang on. Let me get that story. It's a good one here. As Bonds says, let's see, what do I do with it? Anyway, I'll find it here in a minute. Basically, he said, Barry Bonds says, the players know how good I am. My numbers speak for themselves. Does this guy deserve to be in the Hall of Fame or not?
Yes.
He does?
Yes.
Wow. Why would you say that?
On baseball, all he tried to do, and this is the thing I've always had with the PED thing. All those guys ever tried to do was make themselves better. I mean, if you got a guy who's in the Hall of Fame who admittedly cheated in Gaylord Perry,
right,
and you got another guy in the Hall of Fame who most people that covered the Yankees would say that Whitey Ford threw a spitball through his entire career and had help. He's in the Hall of Fame. Then why isn't a guy who's using performance? I mean, that's the symbol of performance-enhancing drugs. Performance-enhancing. They're trying to enhance their performance.
But isn't that cheating because you're not supposed to do it?
Well, and I mean, that was a gray area with Major League Baseball for a lot of years.
All right.
And I just think, and Major League Baseball after the lockout in '94, they encouraged the home run ball.
Well, I agree with that, but they didn't encourage them doing steroids, PEDs.
Well, I think that they didn't. That's one of those unwritten, unspoken things. Whatever it takes. It's one of those whatever it takes to make the game better and more appealing to the fans and having fans come back out to the ballpark.
All right. Bonds remains the all-time leader in career home runs, 7-time MVP, 14-time All-Star. Led the league in home runs twice, RBIs, runs scored, batting average twice, on-base percentage 10 times, 8 Gold Glove winners, or 8 Glove Awards, I should say, Gold Glove Awards. Now, Cooperstown remains an uphill battle for him. This year he received just 37%. He needs 75% to join the Hall. So for all these awards and everything he's done for baseball, between the lines, obviously he was a heck of a player. But sports writers just give him 37% out of the 75% needed. You would think that the sports writer, if they really believe in this guy, it'd have been higher. They'd already punched his ticket for Cooperstown. So
I think they're making him, because he was not the most likable person to cover, either in Pittsburgh or San Francisco.
All right.
I think you've got people because of what has happened, I think you've got people making him wait a while to get in. They're going to put him in. And, a couple of things interesting. One, talking about Bonds, this week I was watching a Braves telecast, and A.J. Prziski was on. They were interviewing him during the inning. And they said something about the best hitter, you ever played with or ever saw. And he said, without a doubt, Barry Bonds. He said, now he might not have been the best teammate I ever played with, and he didn't, tell me his secret about what he did other than, getting up there and hitting a strike. But he said, I've never seen a player like him. He said before, since he says no question. He says no question about it. And AJ has played with a lot of teams over the years. I mean, he's been especially here the last few years as a catcher, he's been a have gun will travel type player, and go around the different teams, and it was without question. Another thing on the Baseball Hall of Fame, if you now have been out, it used to be once you get into the pool, once you've covered Major League Baseball for 10 years, 10 consecutive years,
right,
you're in that Hall of Fame and you're there kind of like a Supreme Court justice. But now I think I read that it's going to be if you haven't covered the league or haven't covered the game in the last, I think, 10 years, then you're going to have a lot of Hall of Fame voters falling off the being able to vote for potential candidates. And I've read it could drop as many as I saw between 100 and 135 people off casting ballots.
We're talking to David Carmichael. John C. Parks and Rec comes in, weighs in on sports topics on Fridays. We do it with the quiz show. Switching gear. All right, I'm still not sold on Barry Bonds. I see your point. You make good points, but I'm one of these old cowboys. I get set in my ways, and you really got to woo me to get me to switch. And I'm just don't think he should be in there. I think he cheated, and a lot of other guys cheated too. I understand that. But see, then you bring this up. If he goes in, then I go right back to the Pete Rose thing. So, if he can go in on what he's done, and then why wouldn't Rose be in the Hall of Fame?
And the thing about Rose, and that's where you and I I think from day one in Major League Baseball, when you walk in a clubhouse, the first thing you see is over the door going in, no gambling on baseball. That is when you had the 1919 White Sox, and when you go back over that history, it was gambling, but it was also they did it they weren't getting paid what they were worth. But needless to say, gambling, that is the first rule you see when you walk in a clubhouse, when you go into Major League Baseball, no gambling on baseball. And that is that instead of 10 commandments of baseball, that's the one commandment of baseball.
Well, but isn't there an unspoken one that no performance? Play it the right way. There's not anything on the wall, but it's kind of a given. Just guys, play with some integrity and don't take performance-enhancing drugs, even though it's not stated, but it's implied. Wouldn't you think?
Well, in the 60s and 70s, especially in greenies, uppers, guys would play, especially in the dog days of summer. The old story was they were taking salt tablets, but they were also taking greenies. Upper, they would, you start to wear down. You play the 120, 30 days. You play a lot of day games. You start to get around. Even the great ones at times took them. They said if you wanted greenies and you wanted uppers, always go see Willie Mays. He had plenty of them, and I'm a Willie Mays, and Willie Mays was my hero. But that was just all that was. Said. That's greenies or uppers or could also be considered a performance-enhancing drug.
See, again, we're talking to Carmichael. See, here you got me on a whole other topic here, but I'll go ahead and jump out here and go. The fact that these guys talk about how tired they are and how hard they work, and I'm thinking, really? They get babied in the clubhouse. They got cold cuts and treats and food and beer and soft drinks, whatever they want. In between innings, go in there to the air-conditioned clubhouse, and they say, man, these doubleheaders are so grueling. I'm thinking, no. The old boy out there pouring concrete at Gray, that's grueling on the interstate, or cutting tobacco, or up on the roof, working in 100 and some degrees, or bracken paving roads. That's work. When these guys say, well, it's so grueling.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't buy that.
But in the 50s and 60s, I'm talking a different era. But in the 50s and 60s, especially before when you would play, especially before you had the West Coast teams, you're traveling on trains, playing, and everybody could say, well, yeah, but you're traveling on a train. Well, you're traveling a lot of times on a train overnight to try to get from New York to St. Louis to play a game, an afternoon game.
Right.
And they didn't, the conditioning, the physical fitness and conditioning that we know these days was not like it was back then. Conditioning to these, a break for these guys was having a smoke in the dugout between, lighting one up lighting one up. You had beer in the clubhouse after the game. Okay, who really, after you play? Now, good softball players, especially today, back in the men's open days that we used to have here. A lot of people did sell. After a long afternoon of playing softball on a celebrate with having 3, 4, 6 cold ones. But really, for as far as staying in shape, drinking a beer right after a game.
All right, we're not going.
I mean, you don't. Let's put Let's see. You don't see Brad Keselowski. The first thing he does when he goes in victory lane, he doesn't pop open a can of Busch to knock it down right then after he's driven 500 miles.
No, I'm
now,
sure.
He may a little bit later, but not right then.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going. Whatever he's going to be consuming will be of a sponsored nature. So yeah,
well,
I agree with
it.
you.
Gatorade, because that's
Big
Pepsi.
Gatorade.
I think Gatorade is NASCAR's flavor of taste these days.
We're talking to Carmichael again. We're talking a little sports. So again, we're just going to be Mexican standoff, and that's okay. That's what it's all about. So the funny part about this country now, unfortunately, if we disagree one with another, then it automatically means we don't like each other, which is hogwash. I think the world of this guy. But the temperament is now that if somebody has opinion A and you don't have opinion A, you have opinion B, then we don't like each other, and we don't. Well, that's crazy. We're all. I mean, we're all.
Yeah. Well, especially in politics.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the
politics more than sports.
Sports isn't as big a thing as sometimes as politics is. If you disagree about your political stance, I mean, that's it's almost akin to the Hatfield McCoys. You're going out there ready. You're going out there like getting ready to have an Alexander Hamilton and out there to have a duel.
We're talking to Carmichael. Talking a little sports quiz show is coming up here in a few minutes. I want to get your take on preseason football. The Jets, we talked about this yesterday. They were woeful. They needed a quarterback, and they apparently didn't get much last night. They had 3 points. Lions got them 23-3. Packers double up the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers had 19 throws. He made 11 of those, so he was out there for a while. Brady, not much. He wasn't out there much at all. Redskins beat the Browns 20-17. Manziel scored a touchdown, but it was in a reserve role. Bears all over the Dolphins 27-10. Chargers beat the Cowboys 17-7. Ravens over the Saints 30-27. Anything out of any of those games that kind of jumped out at you?
Not really, other than and the Alshon Jeffrey injury, and I've not heard any more about it since early this morning. Don't know how serious that is for the Bears. I mean, that could, if it was a major injury, that could be a very serious injury for them. Really nothing in the Dallas game. Romo, Witten, and Dez didn't play. They played their backups mostly.
Exactly. So you didn't see the real guns. So tonight you've got the Titans in Atlanta. Maraddo's going to get a few snaps, not much. Panthers at the Bills, Giants at Bengals tonight, Steelers at the Jaguars. Also, you've got the Seahawks hosting, turn the page here. Seahawks hosting Peyton and the Broncos, yep. And, of course, my boys, the Raiders, will be at home against the Rams tonight, so that's NFL preseason football. Okay, so what do you do now if you're the Jets? You have 3 points up there. You laid an egg offensively, not a whole lot of momentum. You didn't get much, appears, out of Fitzpatrick if he even played. I didn't check the box score, but you're obviously looking for help in the quarterback spot. Now what do you do after scoring 3 points against the Lions? I would assume that the Jets fans are in an uproar this morning, given the fact they didn't look too good.
Well, that's another one of those. It's hard to, from this first preseason game, it's hard to tell what they're, probably you look more toward game 3 and see how the team is playing than really as opposed to last night, because I didn't see the number of snaps that Fitzpatrick got, and it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with that team when that preseason game 3 comes along and they're not making any more effort on offense.
We'll see. You're exactly right. Well put.
There's not a lot of quarterbacks. There's not a lot of guys out there, on the market, free agents that you could really, at this time that you could really bring in to try to help you, and basically, Todd Bowles is just going to try to. He was a defensive guru at Arizona, and I think it's just going to be the same thing. I mean, the Jets had a pretty decent defense anyway, and now you're adding now you're become even more of a defensive-minded coach without a real quarterback.
So why would Michael? They reached out to Michael Vick. He said no. Why would Michael Vick, in the event that he wanted to make a comeback, a resurgence in the National Football League, why would he turn him down?
Money. I guess money. I mean, maybe he thought he was, deserved more money. That would be the only thing. Or maybe he just knew what kind of a train wreck it was going to be being in New York again.
That may be it, because I can't imagine him getting a whole lot of takers. I wouldn't think his phone rings a lot. So here's somebody reaching out to him to make a comeback, kind of a Band-Aid for their football team till Geno Smith gets back, and he told him no. So
I mean, you're getting to play with two pretty good receivers in Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, and the Jets' line's not that bad. They don't have much of a running game with Chris Ivory, but, I mean, he's got two pretty good receivers there. And I would think you might want to, that might be something you might consider going to play with somebody like a Brandon Marshall and an Eric Decker.
Well, and Chan Gailey in the offseason redid the Jets' offense to accommodate Geno Smith, and Michael Vick kind of runs the same kind of offense. He'll sit back there and he'll tuck it and go. So actually the offense may be kind of conducive to how he plays. So I would have thought he would at least give it a look. But anyway, he told him no.
Chan's one of those coaches, though. He plays well enough just to get you beat. I mean, literally, he was that way. In Dallas, he was that way. But he's been that way everywhere he's coached, even at Georgia Tech.
There you go.
He plays just well enough to get you beat. He's kind of middle of the road, 7-9, 8-8, 6-10 type of coach. Not real bad.
But not real good. There you go.
Just right in the middle, just well enough. And that's the kind of quarterback Fitzpatrick is. I was talking about it with some friends the other night. We were discussing fantasy football. I said Fitzpatrick will go 21 of 31 for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he'll throw the interception when you're down 31-24. He'll throw the interception to get you beat.
Absolutely. So. Anyway, that's our buddy Carmichael talking to us again. Chan Gailey and the lack of interest by Michael Vick to be the quarterback in a reserve role, at least for 4, 5, 6 games for the New York Jets. Last question: how do you think my Raiders will do tonight against the Rams? Do you think it'll be a good performance?
I think it will. I think it will. I think it'll be. And I would think that probably you'll see Carr out there for probably 2 to 3 series, at least the first quarter. And then, I would if I was picking, it would probably be the Raiders tonight.
Well, I got my cup there. You can't see it, but I don't guess, but there it is on the screen. My Raiders coffee mug I got from Fanatics 101. Well, Jack Del Rio said this. I thought it was interesting. He said, given the fact that our fans are hungry, had a lot of boo birds last year in the Oakland Coliseum, and deservedly so. New coach, new staff, some new draft picks. He said tonight is a very important game for us, even though it's an exhibition, to turn the tide and kind of set this ship in motion. So he said, we're taking this game very, very important. We want to win at all costs because we got to kind of set the thing in motion to get this thing turned around. You can't wait till September, the regular season. Psychologically, it starts tonight at home in front of our fans, the Raider Nation, against the Rams, which I thought was a interesting statement coming from the first-year coach, Jack Del Rio.
Now, he's that fiery kind of guy. You got 2 former USC Trojans coaching against each other tonight, and Jack and Jeff Fisher. So he's one of those guys that's very fiery, wants to change the culture. He's another. We were talking about yesterday with Rex Ryan. Jack Del Rio's in to change the culture in Oakland.
There you go.
Try to get them back to their glory days.
There you go. And they may not have a home after this year, but wherever they're going to be, he's trying to get them back in the glory days.
They're going to have a home. It may be Los Angeles, but they're going to have a home.
Telford. I want them in Telford. The Telford Raiders. I think it's got a nice ring to it. Let's go. Here we go. Let's get ready for the quiz show. Carmichael's got us going here. There's only one David Carmichael. Love him to death. All right, so we are ready to go. Questions would be of what category today for me to answer?
This is going to be about preseason and preseason football, and there's one training camp question in there, but preseason football.
Now, you in weeks past have kind of given me a little barometer up front going, you're in trouble, you could do pretty good on this. So
I think
what's
you're
your take?
Least 3 out of 5 on this.
3 out of 5. All right.
At least.
Oh, that's not good.
That's
all right.
600, and that's, like I said, it's hitting. You're making big money if you're hitting 600 in the big league.
Making money. All right, let's see if I can go 5 for 5. I'm not going to tell who I'm playing for and see if I don't do good, then we'll save them till Monday. But here we go. Question number 1 of the quiz show.
Okay, question 1, true or false? Bristol Motor Speedway hosted a preseason football game between the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles.
That would be true.
That is correct.
There you go.
1961, first year of the track, they host and still waiting on the second preseason.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So,
Oh, yeah,
all right,
so
number one. I'm 1 for 1. That's good. Here we go. Number 2.
Number 2. At one time, East Tennessee State University was the training camp for the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, I knew
Yes.
that. Oh,
2 for
right.
2.
All
I mean,
right.
back then, when the Falcons came to town, you had to lock your wives and daughters up. And there are report stories about certain members of the Falcons doing some rearranging at the Gilded Cage in Johnson City back in the late 60s and early 70s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's way too much information. All right, 2 for 2. Let's go for number 3, Carmichael. How we do here? Let's see.
We are okay. Now, number 3, the NFL plays 4 preseason games now. Before they've just been playing this now. I think it's been 20 years. Before that, they played 5. True or false? They played 5 preseason games.
Back before the current 4-game schedule.
Current 4-game schedule, yes.
They played 5, and then they've trimmed it down to 4. So you're asking true or false? Did they play 5?
True or false, yes.
I would say that is true.
False. They played 6.
I knew that. Why did I go for that? I knew they played 6. All right, my bad. Got me. All right, 2 for 3. Number 4.
Number 4. Back until the mid-70s, there was the college all-stars versus the world champion and the NFL champion, or the world champion. True or false? The game was held in Philadelphia each year.
All right, run that to me again. I'm a little confused. The NFL, the college all-stars played the NFL. Is that right?
The NFL champions.
Okay. All right. Super Bowl champs or NFL champs. Okay.
Yeah, and the game was held in Philadelphia.
Oh, you're looking for where it was played, Philadelphia.
Where it was played, yes.
Year in, year out was in Philly. I have no clue on this one. My gut tells me to say Philadelphia, so I'm going to say it's true.
False. It was in Chicago.
So much for my gut, all right?
And the reason it was in Chicago, it was the Arch Ward, who was a sports writer and sports editor in Chicago, who was the man who started the baseball all-star game, started this game.
So far,
they did this for charities.
2 good questions, 2 stupid questions. When I miss them, they're stupid. All right, 2 for 4. Let's see if I can finish strong, Carmichael. Bring me home, big guy.
Okay, true or false?
Yes, sir.
The college all-stars never defeated the world champions in the college all-star game.
All-Stars never beat the world champions. I would say that's probably where I'm going today. I'm going to say that's false.
That is false. That is correct.
Hey, all right.
The All-Stars won 9 times. The last time was probably the most famous because they beat the 62 Green Bay Packers, who's considered one of the great all-time teams
of all time
in NFL history.
There you go. So I go 3 for 5, so I didn't totally embarrass myself, but
and that was what I told you would.
That's what you said would happen. You said I go 3 for 5, and I did. So there you go. All right. Let's see. One more note. Jackson definitely out of Knoxville, right? Bicep injury. He's gone. Is that correct?
I have not seen that today.
Yeah. Yes. Marcus Jackson, season-ending injury. Butch Jones said he tore his bicep, so he's out.
If you do that, you're gone. You're definitely gone for the year.
Yeah, he's out. So he finally came out, and of course I got a story coming up here. He's mad at the media in Knoxville, so we'll touch on that here coming up in a few minutes.
How could you be mad? And you work in the media.
Yes.
How could you be mad at the media in Knoxville? Really, what media is in Knoxville?
Oh.
Really, it's kind of like Nashville. The Titans and the Predators, they have the greatest media in the world because there's really no media down there.
Well, they got newspapers and they got TV stations.
Just because you have a newspaper, there's towns that have around here that have newspapers, but do you have media in the newspapers?
Oh, you are a piece of work. You have not changed. How many years we've known each other? When were you?
30. This will be season 30 coming up in about by now because we would have had press day at ETSU by now.
My.
So this would be 30.
One of these days, we may not delve into all of it, but maybe one or two little snippets of our traveling escapades.
Well, we have we always have. It's like they say, we always have Paris. We always have the trip to Marshall.
Yes,
and we always have the trip to. We always have the trip to
Statesboro, Georgia. That's a classic.
As the Allman Brothers once said, the Statesboro Blues.
Oh, it's my bell. Come on, work, Bell. There's my bell work. That's
well,
it.
It's like you say, you ask me what time it is, I tell you how to make the watch.
He's awesome. Carmichael, have a great weekend. You're the best. I'll talk to you. Oh, gosh.
That's right. Next week, you've got what's your schedule like next week with race duty?
Bristol Live, I'm shutting the show down Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. I'll be at the track, so we can either do something Monday or Tuesday, or we can give you a week off, whatever you want to do.
We could do some park and rec stuff on Tuesday then.
There it is. Tuesday it is. I'll be in touch to set that up for you.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Yes, sir. He's the best right there. I'm telling you, that guy is hilarious. Back in the day when I did play-by-play for East Tennessee State, Carmichael was on the traveling team with me. He was on my broadcast crew, and to say he is hilarious is an understatement to travel this man. I'm telling you. Back in the day, we had the late Wayne Hicks, Mike Voigtland, Coach V at that point in time was at Science Hill. And he was my color man on Buck Sports, Buck Football, and we had some good times. Holy tamale. Good stuff. Tom Taylor Sports Show, hour number 2's in the books. Hard to believe. Coming up, we will tell you, as promised, we'll come back and tell you how Butch Jones is, in fact, mad at the media in Knoxville and tell you why. Also, we got a new basketball recruit at East Tennessee State, another big one coming in. They're going to be a big team. Now, again, hype, nope. You would be very wise to get your season tickets for Buck basketball. I don't know if they're even on sale yet. I'll get a hold of Michael White on Monday or Tuesday and get him to give us an update. Of course, everything right now is centered around football, and it should be. There's a scrimmage tomorrow night at Kermit Tipton Stadium for the Bucks. But again, the basketball team looking forward to the basketball season. Going to be very good. And they're going to make Freedom Hall a tough place to go to play. That's where they're going to play their home games, and I think it's a great move. And so they pick up yet another big wide body. We'll tell you all about that here in a few minutes. So they're going to be big. They're going to be quick. I mean, they may start a front line if everything works out, a couple of 7-footers and a 6'9" guy on the front line. And this is ETSU Southern Conference basketball. It's pretty exciting stuff. And so anyway, new recruit. They just signed yesterday, and they've got one more to sign. We'll tell you all about that coming up and more. But hour number 2's in the books. And so we'll take a break, come right back, and Bill Patrick joins us from the Kingsport Speedway. Got a big card of racing over there. You got that's sometimes West Virginia just kind of oozes out of my pores. Over there, again, at the Kingsport Speedway or in Lonesome Pine. Both of those, we'll find out what's going on with those two tracks for this weekend. I know the seasons are winding down, and Bill Patrick joins us coming up next here on getting ready to crank in hour number 3 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says they work with both commercial and residential customers and love to help remodel existing homes.
What we do is if somebody comes in and wants to do a remodel, of course, they've got an existing home, existing kitchen. It might be a bathroom, whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll come out and take a look at their project. We'll do the measuring for them, come back in. While I'm at the home, I'll get the ideas that they want to incorporate into the kitchen, into the bathroom. We'll come back, we'll draw it up for them, have them come in for a meeting and go over everything with them. And once the drawings and stuff are approved, then we'll start the pricing process. We'll find out what kind of wood they want to use, what kind of countertops. Do they want Corian? Do they want granite? Do they want laminate countertops?
Kingsport Cabinetry. Quotes are free. Call today, 247-6134, 247-6134.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Hour number 3 is here. Love it. Love being here with you every day for 3 hours. A lot of fun. We have talked to Stacy Carter, head football coach at Science Hill today. We have talked to Jeff Birchfield from John City Press earlier today. Bill Patrick's with us from the Kingsport Speedway in Lonesome Pine. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Doing good.
Staying cool today?
Yeah, I left a little early from work. Having a little problem with my neck, so I decided to leave a little early and put some ice on it before race time.
There you go. So we're racing tonight. Tell us what's going on at Kingsport Speedway, the Concrete Jungle. Is it tonight there or is it Lonesome Pine? What's going on this weekend?
We got both tracks this weekend. Kingsport tonight, Coburn tomorrow night. So looks like we've got all the divisions coming except the Legends this weekend. So it looks like it's heating up to be a pretty good weekend of racing.
Coming up, we'll tell you about Butch Jones not happy with the Knoxville media and also a new basketball recruit at East Tennessee State University. We're talking to Bill Patrick right now for the Kingsport Speedway. How many weeks we got left in the regular season? Is it coming down the home stretch?
Yeah, we got 2 races, including tonight, at Kingsport left. This weekend we'll be off next weekend for the Bristol race, and then the last weekend of August we'll be racing at Kingsport again, and that'll pretty much wrap up Kingsport. But we got like 4 races left at Coburn. There'll be 2 in September.
So you run out of chances to get over there and watch the racing tonight at the Concrete Jungle, the Kingsport Speedway there on John B. Dennis. And right now, who's the guy everybody's chasing the points right now?
Well, in late model, it's Ron McCarty. After all the disqualifications the last few weeks, he's pretty much got that one probably sewed up. Your points leader in Pure 4 is Jason Ketron, but he's only like 20 points away. Kenny Absher is knocking on his door, and all that can change tonight. Nasty Jones leading points in Pure Street, but he's got a couple of guys knocking on the door with him too. So the Marty Tennell is coming up pretty quick, and then you've got Duke Bear that's pretty strong in Pure Street. And then your street stock, you've got John Harrell. Now, from what I understand, they put a $200 bounty on him tonight to see if somebody can beat him.
So John Harrell's got a $200 bounty on him. Is that correct?
Tonight, right.
So if
anybody that can beat him fair and square.
Huh. So if I come over tonight and beat him, I get an extra $200 because I beat this guy. He's that good, huh?
Right. Street stock. He's hard to beat. He's good. Broadbent has given him a pretty good fit. They run door to door quite a bit, but John somehow seems to pull away from him there toward the end. So, that's the class that Robbie Allison runs in too. So they're going to be trying to get him tonight.
We're talking to our buddy Bill Patrick again, Kingsport Speedway. How's the Allison boy doing? That would be Liz and Davey's son. Is that correct?
That's Davey's son, which is Bobby's grandson. He's doing pretty good. He usually comes in around 4th, something like that, in street stock. He drives the number 12. Camaro belongs to Chris Tennell, but it's got a Roush engine in it and all that. So he's doing pretty good with it, but he's in a class with John Harrell, and he's hard to beat.
So when does the racing start tonight at Kingsport Speedway?
They'll open the gate around 5. Qualifying will get underway around 5:30, and then the others will start qualifying about 6. 7:55 will have the national anthem, and then at 8 o'clock we'll start racing tonight. And then tomorrow night you'll have gates will open around 4, start qualifying around 5, and we start racing at 7 over there.
Should be a lot of fun. Again, 2 places to go catch some racing tonight in Kingsport, tomorrow night at Coburn and Lonesome Pine. Bill, thanks for checking in with us, my friend, and we appreciate you very much. Hope your neck gets to feeling better, and we'll talk to you, we'll talk to you the week after next. So,
all right.
We'll be at Bristol next week, but we'll talk to you in 2 weeks, all right?
All right. If he wants the funnel cake, he's going to have to come to Coburn because they don't have them at Kingsport. They only got them at the Coburn track.
So I'm looking for a funnel cake. I go to drive to Coburn to get a funnel cake. Is that correct?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dadgum. Well, that'd be worth the drive, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's a fun track over there.
There you go. Hey, I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for checking in with us, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Yes, sir. Good man right there. Bill Patrick, again, from the Kingsport Speedway in Lonesome Pine in Coburn. Again, racing there tonight in Kingsport at the Concrete Jungle, as they call it. And again, next week, tomorrow night, they will be in Coburn at Lonesome Pine, so racing both places, and that should be a lot of fun. And, again, get a little dicey. We've had some tempers flaring all season long, disqualifications. Now they got a bounty on some guy tonight, John Harrell. If he wins, not some guy, but John Harrell, if he wins, or if you can beat him, they're going to give you a $200 bounty to beat this guy. So that's kind of added incentive for both him and the guys who are challenging him. Because I would say if I'm John Harrell, you ain't going to get $200. So I'd get redneck. You ain't going to get $200. I ain't going to let you win. The other guy's going to say, yeah, we are. We're going to come over and beat you. And somebody's going to take $200 because we stopped your streak. So anyway, should be a lot of fun tonight. Kingsport Speedway has been averaging between 25 and 3,000 fans a night when the weather's cooperative. And tonight should be a beautiful night over there in Kingsport. Weather's supposed to be very, very nice. And so it should be a lot of fun tonight at Kingsport Speedway, the Concrete Jungle, and then tomorrow night at Lonesome Pine in Coburn. Whew, that ain't no good there. Tom Taylor Sports Show, here we go. Tennessee junior wide receiver Marquez North injured his knee in practice yesterday. Coach Butch Jones told the News Sentinel by text message the Vols fully expect to have him back within a week. A report from Fox Sports Knoxville suggested North was out for the season due to an injury that occurred as he was running pass routes at practice. Jones said that is not the case and that it is not serious. He'll be back here very, very shortly, said Butch Jones. Now, during the interview, Jones also confirmed the nature of left guard Marcus Jackson's season-ending injury after saying earlier in the week that he would not be out for the season. Now he is. Jones said Jackson tore his bicep. He's out for the year. And so it was actually a non-contact injury. It was actually punching, just a one-on-one deal, and there goes his bicep. Man has worked so hard. We redshirted him for this year to come. And so that's part of the trials and tribulations and adversity. He's doing a really good job of coaching our younger players right now. And so Jackson is out. That is not good news for the offensive line for the Tennessee Volunteers. He was the most experienced lineman coming back, and so he's out. As we've told you all week long, a glaring statistic for Tennessee football. They've allowed last year 43 sacks to the Tennessee quarterback. So that obviously has to get tightened up. And so he is out for the year. Marcus Jackson, the offensive lineman, going with tearing his bicep for the Tennessee Vols. In that same story, Jones blasting the report that said North was feared out for the season. Butch Jones says, quote, "We need to get back to protecting the student athletes. A report that a young man is out for the year, and that's the most erroneous and misconstrued piece of reporting journalism I've ever been a part of. Excuse me. It's really unfortunate because you have to call all the family members because they hear all this. I just believe in being factual." This is Butch Jones again. Quote, "We need to get back to protecting the student athletes. A report that a young man is out for the year, and that's the most erroneous and misconstrued piece of reporting and journalism I've ever been a part of. It's really unfortunate because you have to call all the family members. They hear all that. I just believe in being factual, end quote. So, again, some of the folks that reported this later issued a statement of apology because the way it was phrased, that it led folks to believe that he was out for the year. So, the Vols canceled their morning practice yesterday but held their evening practice. And so Tennessee spokesman Jason Yellen would not say whether the cancellation was connected to the injuries. 18 players held out of practice Wednesday, most of them because of injuries, including tailback Jalen Hurd, senior wide receiver Pig Howard, senior safety Brian Randolph. 18 guys were held out of practice Wednesday, most of them because of injuries. Tennessee spokesman Jason Yellen would not say whether the cancellation was connected to the injuries. So Butch Jones says, quote, "We do have some injuries mounting. I don't think we have any more than the average college football team at this point in time. Some are ankles, some are blisters, some on feet, blisters on feet rather. Some are sore shoulders, some are knee sprains and things like that. They do accumulate. Football is a sport that's obviously very, very physical. You try to limit your physicality, but as you know, you have to get your football team ready for the season. So 18 guys out of practice on Wednesday because of injuries at Tennessee football. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We thank you for being with us again on this Friday afternoon, getting ready for a big weekend of sports. NFL preseason football tonight. The Titans will be in Atlanta. Marcus won't be playing much. He'll take a few snaps, not a whole lot. And so he'll be there along with the rest of the Titans in Atlanta. Panthers will be in Buffalo. Cincinnati will be hosting the New York Giants and Eli Manning. Steelers in Jacksonville to battle the Jags. Broncos in Seattle. And the Rams will be in Oakland to battle the Raiders. And they'll be our team to kick their tail and send them back to St. Louis. And so looking forward to reporting that to you coming up again on Monday's show. East Tennessee State University basketball team signing 6'8" Toriano Stokes from Memphis Westwood High School. Averaged 16 points, 14 boards a game, 4 blocks a game. In one game he had 6 dunks. He had a dunk in every game and had 6 in one game. Now, here's the best part about this. Stokes does not cost the Bucks a basketball scholarship because he's 6'8", 230. He's coming to ETSU on the Hope and other academic scholarships. So this guy is very good in the classroom. And so he's 6'8", 230, coming to town. Toriano Stokes from Memphis, baby. And so that leaves 1 scholarship remaining for Coach Forbes at East Tennessee State, expected to go to Deuce Bello, a 6'4" guard who started his career at Baylor before graduating from Missouri this year. Bello will be eligible immediately and have 1 season remaining if he comes on board. Again, Stokes will obviously add immediate size and athleticism to the Bucks front court. 16 points, 14 rebounds a game, 4 block shots, and in one game had 6 dunks. He was a finalist for the Memphis Commercial Appeal newspaper's Scholar Athlete of the Year. He was listed as the 12th best recruit coming out of the Memphis area. And now he's going to be at East Tennessee State. That's pretty impressive. And again, he continues, he being Coach Forbes, to sign some good basketball players. Again, he got a couple of 7-footers in town. This guy's 6'8", and they're going to have a huge, huge basketball team, which you got to have to go anywhere in postseason because you just do. You got to have some horses, you got to have some meat on the hoof, you got to have some wide bodies, and it looks like he is doing that again in Johnson City. Speaking of ETSU, Coach Torbush wants his players fresh for tomorrow night's scrimmage, so he rewarded them by not making them run after practice yesterday. They got after each other pretty good the last 6 periods today. Things started off a little slow. The Bucks practiced for the 8th consecutive day, and things got off to a sluggish start. We've pushed them really hard the first 8 days. Saturday scrimmage is at Kermit Tipton Stadium. It's been moved back to 8 o'clock, a little cooler in the evening. And so they'll hold a walkthrough this morning at the Dome. The team's media day will be held from 4:30 until 6:30 tonight, also in the Dome at East Tennessee State. And so Michael White and the folks getting ready for that there, the ETSU sports information staff getting ready for media day today. Being held, as we said, in the Dome from 4:30 until 6:30. The scrimmage tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at Kermit Tipton Stadium there on the campus of Science Hill, where they'll be playing their home games for 2015. So congratulations to Coach Forbes, and also congratulations to Coach Torbush, putting them through the paces. Again, they'll scrimmage tomorrow night, 8 o'clock at Kermit Tipton Stadium, again on the campus of Science Hill. That's their home away from home till they get their stadium built on campus at East Tennessee State University. It's a Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thank you for being with us. We enjoy coming in here every day and talking sports with you. We got more to come as we work our way through this Friday afternoon. Quick break with some of our great sponsors, led off by Will Graybill and the great folks at Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, opening up a brand new office. It'll be number 7. And this will be in Johnson City in the Peerless Center on Springbrook Drive, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics. He's going to join us next week, talk about that. But we're very excited about promoting that for him. Brand new location, now 7 locations, 40 years, 1 family. That would be the folks at Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics. Will Graybill, again, his great staff, he'll join me either Monday or Tuesday to talk about this newest location in Johnson City. He's got them all over the place. Let's see if I can do them off the top of my head. Of course, home base is Bristol, Kingsport, Pounding Mill, Virginia, Greenville, Abington, now in Johnson City. Where's the last one? Oh, boy. Where's that last office at? Norton, Virginia. Norton, Virginia is the last one. So there's 7 locations, the newest one being in Johnson City on Springbrook Drive, again there in the Peerless Center. He'll join us coming up next week. And here he is right now to tell you all about it, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. American Import Auto Repair takes a lot of pride in their work and customer service. Owner Kim Smith tells us why someone should consider American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City.
Well, of course, the first thing is you want to make sure that people are getting value for their dollar. Our emphasis is on quality, not quantity. We want to make sure that not only is the job being done, but it's done right with quality parts, with highly trained technicians. All of our technicians are ASE certified. We have several master techs, which is the highest you can get in the ASE. And ASE is a program that certifies people to the top level of their industry in car repair. We want people to feel comfortable. We never twist people's arms. Like I said, it's about quality. We want people to be happy. We want them to come back. We want a good name. You know, we're customers of other businesses. We wanted to be treated right, so we'd like to treat our customers right.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City. Call today at 913-3111. Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. I asked owner Richard Isaacs, is there a template or is the sky the limit?
Pretty much the sky's the limit. We have a very good drawing system that you come in, tell me what you want. If you have a set of house plans that you're working with, you're building a new house, we can take it off the house plans. We can draw it up, do you 3D drawings where you can see exactly where all the doors, the drawers, the color of the cabinets, kind of get close to the color of the countertops in your drawings. Go over that with you. Then you can say, well, Richard, let's change this. I'd rather for that door to open the other way, or I want that cabinet to be bigger, that cabinet to be smaller. We can customize it to your needs. You know, it's all about what the customer wants. We want them to be happy when they leave here.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us on this Friday. With you for a little while longer here. See what else happening in sports. We told you at the outset of the show about a former Bristol Motor Speedway employee now moving on to a new location, which I think is very cool. Wayne Estes been named president and general manager of Sebring International Raceway. Estes joined Sebring after serving on the staff of Bristol Motor Speedway for 17 years. From communications director to VP of events, previously a public relations manager at Campbell & Company, where he handled the Ford Motor Company's motorsports accounts for NASCAR, replacing Tress Stevenson, who announced earlier in the year that next season's Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring, fueled by Fresh from Florida, will be his final race. Sebring International Raceway, established in 1950, evolving from a World War II B-17 training base called Hendricks Field. And since 1952, it's been home to the famous 12-hour endurance race held every March. The 12 Hours of Sebring was recently voted one of the world's 10 best races by USA Today's Travel Media Group. So kudos to Wayne Estes, good man, president and general manager of Sebring International Raceway. And so that's his new job. And he after he left the Speedway, he's taken some time off and kind of kicked back and done a few things here and there. But he'll go back to work full-time as the president and general manager of Sebring International Raceway. So congratulations to Wayne Estes, who's, as we said, he's a good guy, and we enjoyed working in and around him. We were at the track back in the early days, and he was a good guy to work with and work around, so appreciate him. What else happening in sports? Let's run down Major League Baseball. Who's playing where on this weekend kickoff to a big weekend of baseball? Cubbies will be in Chicago, in South Chicago. Interleague play for the weekend. Cubs and the White Sox at Kaminsky Park, or was Kaminsky Park. Again, 4:10 first pitch in South Chicago. This afternoon. Pittsburgh and New York. Atlanta hosting Arizona tonight. Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Miami at St. Louis. Colorado home to San Diego. The Reds on the road continuing their stop this weekend in L.A. against the Dodgers. And the Nationals on the left coast in San Francisco. What else on the American League do you have on the schedule? You have tonight everything under the lights. Oakland and Baltimore, the Yankees at Toronto, Boston hosting Seattle, Tampa Bay at Texas, Minnesota home to Cleveland, Detroit, Alfredo Simon on the mound. They'll be in Houston, again with an 8:10 first pitch, and the Angels will be in Kansas City to battle the Royals. That too starts at 8:10 tonight for the Royals and the Angels in Major League Baseball. Appalachian League Baseball last night. You had action from the Appy League. You had Kingsport defeating Johnson City 8-2. Danville doubled up Burlington 6-3. Elizabethton over Bristol 5-4. Pulaski beat Greenville 10-6, and Bluefield downs Princeton 11-3. Tonight in Appy League baseball, Kingsport at Hunter Wright Stadium home to the Johnson City Cardinals. Always a good matchup there. Elizabethton travels to Bristol at DeVault Stadium. So the Pirates at home against the Twins. Greenville on the road at Pulaski tonight. And Bluefield plays at Princeton in Appy League baseball. Very, very tight race in the West. The Tri-Cities division at deadlock for first. Greenville and Kingsport tied for first. You have Elizabethton a half game out. The Bristol Pirates 2.5 games out. And the Cardinals are in a tailspin. They've lost 7 straight. They're in the cellar, but there's still only 4 out at 21 and 26. In the Appalachian League Eastern Division, Pulaski a game better than Princeton. Starting to get a little separation here in the Eastern Division. Pulaski a game better than Princeton. Then Danville 4.5 back. Burlington 6.5 back. And Bluefield right now struggling. Worst team in the league. They're 20 and 29. They're 8.5 games out of first place. Maybe getting a little tough for them to catch anybody at this point of the season because it's beginning to wind down a bit. But certainly in the Tri-Cities division, it's wide open. Greenville, Kingsport tied for first. Elizabethton only a half game back. And Bristol 2.5 back. And really and truly the Cardinals, if they'd catch fire, they could get into the fray pretty quick too, being only 4 games back of first place. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, let's talk some other things going on in the world of sports. We've got let's see, something else I want to tell you about. There he goes. Down here's golf. Again, this is props to the Kingsport Times News as they, again, reading some of the stuff they have in their sports section. We appreciate them being used them as a reference point. Golf on Wednesday. Silver Lake Country Club, Churchill, the boys, it was a 3-way meet. Tennessee High, Volunteer, and Sullivan Central were the in order for the boys action and a high school 3-way golf meet. Tennessee High, Volunteer, and Sullivan Central in that order. And then the girls' side was Volunteer, Tennessee High, and Sullivan Central in that order. So that was some high school golf to report to you Again, that happened on Wednesday at Silver Lake Country Club in Churchill. Tennessee High's boys and Volunteers girls win that tri-meet involving high school golf. So good news there. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us again on this Friday. Jeff Gordon racing this weekend in Michigan. Yeah, pretty cool promotion not in Bristol, but in Michigan this weekend. Free pizza if Jeff Gordon wins the race in Michigan. Fighting and digging to secure his position of the chase. Plenty of reasons to root for the driver to grab his first win of his final full-time Sprint Cup season. Little Caesars in Michigan just added another twist. And so Little Caesars will give everybody a free $5 hot and ready lunch combo, featuring a 20-ounce Pepsi product to every customer who comes in to a store and mentions the offer in Michigan on Wednesday, provided, of course, Jeff Gordon wins the race at Michigan International Speedway this weekend. So Little Caesars offering free food if the number 24 Pepsi Chevy wins it. And so the Pepsi Chevy, by the way, making its 2015 debut this weekend in Michigan. And so, of course, next year the 24 team will be taken over by Chase Elliott, who is the defending points champion in the Xfinity Series, currently running second in the series behind Chris Buescher, rather. And so Chase Elliott will be taking over that car next year. And so they're unveiling the number 24 Pepsi Chevrolet SS this weekend at Michigan. And again, if Jeff Gordon wins, everybody in Michigan that goes to the race gets free pizza from Little Caesars. That's pretty cool. A little added incentive there for the race fans to be rooting on Jeff Gordon to get some free pizza in Michigan at Little Caesars if he wins the race this weekend. Speaking of Chris Buescher, again, telling you earlier in the show how Jack Roush said, we got to get this guy a ride. And so he's come out. It's kind of been hinted, stated but never implied but never stated, rather. So it's been stated and implied now. Buescher's team owner, Jack Roush, told folks it would be sooner rather than later when the 22-year-old will be in a Sprint Cup ride full-time. I'll stop short of saying it's 2016, says Roush, but there is a discussion going on about the prospect of getting him into a car. If not one of my cars, one of the other Ford cars that would be competitive and competing in 2016. He may very well be one of my cars. It's just a matter of sponsorship and business considerations. He has 3 drivers right now. Greg Biffle, who I would think safe, but Trevor Bayne, no way is he safe, nor is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I would think that's added pressure on these guys because, quote, Jack Roush, he may very well be one of my sprint cars next year. So either he'll add another team or one of these guys will get their walking papers. Buescher says, quote, it's interesting because we've honestly haven't had very much in-depth discussions towards next year at all. I'd love to know what our plan is going forward. I feel like it'll be a lot of fun to be able to move up, but at the same time, I'm trying not to focus on next year yet. Of course, he's trying to win the Xfinity Series this year, and he's, again, leading the points right now. He's a 24-point leader over Ty Dillon and Chase Elliott. They'll race this weekend at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio, to defend last season's win at the 13-turn track. So kind of a road course of sorts. So Chris Buescher says, I'd like to do it, like to move on. That's totally up to the upper management, but certainly being considered to be in a Roush Fenway racing car in 2016. So I would think that just put added pressure on Trevor Bayne and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. internally to do better because they may be, unless it comes out with a 4th team, because I would say Craig Biffle's pretty safe. He's kind of the cornerstone of the team right now. You know, they've just lost the last couple of years, Edwards and Kenseth, so they're kind of scrambling, and they've not had a very good year. Xfinity Series are having a great year, but the Cup Series not having a very good year at all. And so I think Biffle's safe, but Trevor Bayne and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I would think would be looking over my shoulder if I were them because they see a very hard-charging Chris Buescher coming their way, and he's making some noise, and he may be the next man in. You just never know. So one can only speculate here in the silly season of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. NFL football, some notes from last night's game. Some guys did pretty good. Some guys didn't do so hot. We'll tell you about that coming up next. We move on here as we work our way through this third hour. We're here every day from 11 to 2. Back with more right after you hear this from the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says they work with both commercial and residential customers and love to help remodel existing homes.
What we do is if somebody comes in and wants to do a remodel, of course, they've got an existing home, existing kitchen. It might be a bathroom, whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll come out and take a look at their project. We'll do the measuring for them, come back in. While I'm at the home, I'll get the ideas that they want to incorporate into the kitchen, into the bathroom. We'll come back, we'll draw it up for them, have them come in for a meeting and go over everything with them. And once the drawings and stuff are approved, then we'll start the pricing process. We'll find out what kind of wood they want to use, what kind of countertops. Do they want Corian? Do they want granite? Do they want laminate countertops?
Kingsport Cabinetry. Quotes are free. Call today, 247-6134, 247-6134.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Show. Again, one of our great sponsors making this show go each and every day up to 13 states and 3 countries. We certainly appreciate that. Would be our buddy who always brings you the thought for the day. Our buddy, we call him the Big Easy, Larry Kaiser from Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance. Got a great program, my friend, called Smart Ride. Tell me about it, would you please?
Yeah, Smart Ride is just a feedback program that we use to some driving habits. The reason for it is discounts. Everybody likes to get a little cheaper on their insurance or whatever. There is a 5% discount just for using the program, and after the results are in, you could get up to a 30% discount on per vehicle for the way that you operate your car. Some of the things that we look at is the miles driven, for one. Nighttime driving, anything after midnight, of course, is registered through this. Fast accelerations and hard braking events and things like that as well. Unlike some of our competitors that have these type of plug-in devices, we do not track speed or any GPS where you're at, because we don't know whether you're in a 20-mile-an-hour zone in a school zone or whether you're running on the interstate. Without the GPS system in there, it's not a big brother situation. Also, you can monitor your driving habits by going online. These results are fed into your email address. You can go online and keep up with how your performance is throughout the period that the device is plugged into your vehicle. It's a 4-month situation, and the discount is applied on your renewal. No matter what happens, if you do not get any additional discounts, you still keep the 5% discount for just using the device to start with. And it's mailed to you by Nationwide, and you mail it back in, so there's no charge either for using the program.
Neat stuff. It's called Smart Ride, and two things. Number one, I would go without saying, you're signing folks up for this program. A lot of folks are taking advantage of this. Number two, is there a cost involved?
No cost, like I said. The program's free because you actually send the device back to Nationwide. They pay shipping both ways, and the 5% discount up front for just trying the program. And yes, as a matter of fact, I put 2 of the devices in cars yesterday. Most people can do them themselves. It plugs into your diagnostic port in your vehicle, and if we always tell people if they don't know where that's at or can't do it, bring it by here and we'll put it in for them. So just another service that we try to provide.
Why did you look at me when you said that? If you don't know where to put it and how to install it, why did you look at me? That makes me feel bad.
Well, some people have different talents, Brother Tom.
It's called the Smart Ride program. Gives you personalized feedback to help make you even safer driving decisions. It's a free 6-month program. You can start saving today. And as Larry said, the safer you drive, the higher the discount you get, up to 30% off on your Nationwide automobile policy, obviously. You'll earn an instant 5% discount when you sign up. Safe drivers cost less to insure. They want to pass those savings on to you. How can we get a hold of you, my friend?
423-282-1389 is the office phone. Our email address is Kaiser, L, K-I-S-E-R, L for Larry, @nationwide.com.
There you go. It's called the Smart Ride program. Again, one of our great sponsors, Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance, based out of Johnson City, writing things all over the place. 282-1389, the number to call. And you heard about it right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks to my buddy Larry Kaiser. Again, from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. 282-1389 is the number to call. Get on this Friday, ready to go. Looking to hear a host of big names atop the PGA Championship, including Dustin Johnson and Jason Day. Also, some names are in danger, missing out of the weekend, including Tiger Woods. I think Horace is right. Put a fork in this guy. He's done. And if for Tiger Woods to be his 3rd straight missed cut at the majors, equals his total from 1997 to 2013 in these tournaments. And so a stunning development. Not really. Shouldn't be, given his recent performance. So Tiger is definitely in a downward spiral. And let's see, 10 off at 220 will be Johnson. Justin Spieth, well, let's see, he is 6 under through 15 here today in round 2. Jason Day tied for 6th. Spieth again tied for 1st as Johnson. Lingmerth and Jason Spieth tied for 1st right now. The PGA Championship. Again, Johnson tees off. He's currently 6 under. He tees off at 220 after we're going to be off the show. Spieth will tee off, or actually he's playing right now, and he is 6 under through 15 today. And so that's the very latest in the PGA Championship. Who can miss the big cut? Could be Tiger, some other folks. Adam Scott, Jimmy Walker, Keegan Bradley, all in trouble. Patrick Reed's in trouble for the PGA Championship being played in Haven, Wisconsin. So just giving you up to date what's going on there with, again, the PGA tournament as we speak, happening again in Wisconsin. Let's see what else is going on in the world of sports. We're talking about the NFL from last night. Let's run down some of those for you, some of the scenarios and situations going on right now in the National Football League. Jets quarterback Geno Smith had surgery yesterday to repair his broken jaw. According to sources, he had a plate inserted to expedite the healing process, will remain in the hospital overnight, expected to miss 6 to 10 weeks, as we've told you, as a result of the sucker punch by N.M. Pauley, the linebacker now with the Buffalo Bills. Sucker punched him early in the week, broke his jaw, and everybody knows about that by now. But so he should be getting out of the hospital today, expected to miss 6 to 10 weeks in his rehab to get ready to be a quarterback for the New York Jets. Of course, you know, you sit around for 6 to 10 weeks, and you also look at not just the fact that he's out, but his timing's off, his conditioning's going to be off, his throws. I don't know if when he can start throwing with a broken jaw just on the side, but I'm sure the sooner the better for him. But again, there's going to be a lot of variables involved in this guy being out and on the shelf for a while with that broken jaw. In Washington, Robert Griffin Jr., the third, started quarterback, was outplayed last night by Kirk Cousins. Griffin 4 for 8 for 36 yards. Although Pierre Garcon dropped a sure touchdown pass. Cousins, meanwhile, 12 of 14 for 154 yards and a rushing touchdown. So Kirk Cousins outplayed RG3 last night in that preseason game for the Washington Redskins as they defeated the Browns last night in Thursday Night Football. And that final score was Redskins 20, Browns 17. Browns, meanwhile, unable to figure out anything about their running attack. None of the backs showed themselves very well. Terrence West, 10 yards on 4 carries. Isaiah Crowell, 6 yards on 4 carries. Not good. Quarterback Johnny Manziel had the best run of the game for the Cleveland Browns, but again, in a backup role. So anyway, Browns still trying to figure out the running game. Didn't get many answers last night. Still kind of up in the air. Let's see. Also, the Cowboys winning last night. Not only do they have the competition going on at running back, they also need to figure out who will be the primary backup to quarterback Tony Romo. Brandon Whedon had a rough night. Fumbled snap led to the Chargers' first touchdown. Second-year player Dustin Vaughn played well. Gus Johnson, a undrafted free agent from Stephen F. Austin, started at running back for Dallas. 35 yards, a touchdown on 13 carries. So good night for this undrafted free agent, Gus Johnson. Romo, Joseph Randall, Lance Dunbar, and Darren McFadden all set out along with Jason Witten last night. And the Cowboys win 17-7 on the road over the San Diego Chargers. What else going on in NFL preseason football from last night? Lions running back, some rookies made some nice waves. Lions running back Amir Abdullah, 67 yards on 7 carries against the Jets' first-team defense, running for the Lions, of course. Patriots defensive end Trey Flowers, 4th-round pick out of Arkansas, had a first-quarter sack of Aaron Rodgers. Later left the game with an undisclosed injury, did not return, but had a good start for the defensive end Trey Flowers out of Arkansas. Let's see. Packers cornerback Quentin Rollins, drafted into the 2nd round out of Miami, Ohio, played against the Patriots, played well, broke up 2 passes, including a dropped interception and making 3 tackles. So nice night last night for the Packers rookie Quentin Rollins. Chargers linebacker Denzel Perryman, a 2nd-round pick out of Miami, Florida, had just 2 tackles in the first half against the Cowboys, but created consistent pressure and always around the ball. So these guys playing well, so says this report last night. A lot of teams rested their big guns. Packers without several defensive starters, including linebackers Clay Matthews and Nick Perry, and defensive linemen Mike Daniels and LaTroy Guion are the guys that didn't play last night. Saints held out quarterback Drew Brees and gave the start to Luke McCown. Also played, the Saints did without running back C.J. Spiller, receiver Marcus Colston, and defensive end Akeem Hicks all sit out last night. Romo, Des Bryant, Jason Witten not in action last night with the Cowboys. Again, recapping the scores. Ravens beat the Saints 30-27. Lions all over the Jets 23-3. Packers beat the Patriots 22-11. Redskins down the Browns 20-17. Bears humbled the Dolphins 27-10, and the Chargers beat the Cowboys 17-7. Again tonight, Tennessee and Atlanta for the Titans. Marcus Mariota will be on a short leash tonight. Not a lot of snaps for him in this first game. Panthers will be in Buffalo. Bengals hosting the Giants. Steelers at Jacksonville. The Rams will be in Oakland against my Raiders, and the Seahawks hosting the Broncos. That'll be all going on tonight. Tomorrow night, the Buccaneers will be in Minnesota against the Vikings, 49ers against the Texans, and the Kansas City Chiefs out in the Southwest against the Arizona Cardinals. On Sunday, the Colts will be in Philadelphia to battle the Eagles. And that's NFL preseason as we have it right here again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Hey, don't forget to go to the website. Get involved with this. A lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Starts on Monday. We're talking about all the different ways you can help out Speedway Children's Charities next week for Race Week here in the region. SpeedwayCharities.org, then click on the Bristol tab. All the information you need for the Cornhole Tournament, the 5K Road Race a week from yesterday on Thursday night, this coming Thursday. Also the memorabilia auction next Thursday night in the Bruton Smith Building. All this coming up to help raise money. Last year, Speedway Children's Charities in this region raising $749,000. It all stays in East Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. Also, go to that same website, speedwaycharities.org. Click on Bristol. Check out the Ultimate Experiences going on now. You can bid on those. Also, the Ride of a Lifetime. Bid on those. Also, the Cornhole Tournament, the Flex Seal Cornhole Tournament up there next week at Bristol Motor Speedway. You can find out more about that. Also, once you get there next week for the race, They'll be selling Krispy Kreme donuts and Johnsonville brats, both with a chance to take a percentage off of the sales and give to Speedway Children's Charities. It's all about the kids. Should be a lot of fun, and that's coming up next week, again at Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's last great Coliseum. Cherokee Barbershop. Meant to say hello to Bo Howe earlier in the show. He was down getting his ears lowered and got sidetracked, but Gator sent me a picture of Bo Howe. Hello, Bo. I'm sure he's still not in that chair. It's been well over an hour ago, hour and a half. If he's still in that chair at this point, there's a lot of hair coming off. And I saw Bo's picture, and there's not a lot of hair coming off. So he is long since gone, but hello to Bo Howe. Also to Mr. Castile, who had his ears lowered there earlier today. Cherokee Barbershop. Old-fashioned barbershop on South Roan Street in Johnson City, right down from Tipton Haynes Working Farm. Haircuts are free. How about that? Haircuts are free. The cup of coffee that you get will cost you $11, and you get to keep the cup. But the haircuts are free. Straight razor shaves, got them. Hot towels on your face, got them. The back massage, that gizmo, rub it across your back. The back massage and shoulder rub, got it. It's all good. It's all available again at Cherokee Barbershop on South Roan Street. The Gator Man, the man who wears a tie when he cuts people's hair out of respect to you, the customer. Open Monday through Friday from, 10 till 5, and then, is that right? 10 till 5, and then Saturday from 8:30 until 1. I've got 10 till 5 and 8:30 till 5. Why do I have both? I don't know. So I'm going to go with 8:30 till 5 on Monday through Friday. I'm sorry, Tuesday through Friday. He's off on Monday doing fluff and fold. So Tuesday, I see what I've done. Never mind. Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, and Saturdays, 8:30 to 1. Again, Cherokee Barbershop, great guy. It's become a great friend, and think the world of the young man, even though he asked me some stupid question last week about the Zamboni machine. Give me a break. Was it this week? This week or last week? Doesn't matter. It's pitiful. So, of course, the ones I got asked today by Carmichael and NFL preseason football, not much better, but that's okay. That's why I'm here, and just take my lumps and keep on trucking. And so we appreciate a man, the Gator Man at Cherokee Barbershop, South Roan Street in Johnson City. Here's a story coming off of the Sporting News Network that we use from time to time as a reference point. Who has the easiest schedules in America in college football? Who do you think those are? We'll take a break, come right back and tell you who has the easiest schedules in major college football this season across the board, and you'll be interesting to hear who has been, rated, evaluated their schedule, and who has the 5 easiest schedules in major college, Division I college football. We'll have that for you coming up next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
back on the Tom Diller Sports Show for a few more minutes on this Friday. Thank you so much for being with us today. Back with you on Monday, beginning at 11 o'clock, 11 to 2. Now, tonight, this will go up on the Cyber Nebulous. You can watch us and listen to us on iTunes, YouTube, TuneIn Radio, the Stitcher phone app. Back in the studio Monday and Tuesday. The next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to park the show and head off to Bristol for Bristol Live. Can't wait. Over 20,000 listeners we have on that show. Very, very exciting. We've been in our fifth race? Our fifth race doing Bristol Live. Brought to you by Yates Nationwide Agency, Chick-fil-A, and the Crossings, North Johnson City, Food City. Some of our great sponsors. Blue Lizard came on this morning. They're on board. Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance, they're on. Oh, gosh, who else we got? We got Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, working on a few others that we get to squeeze in here before the start of this thing starts this coming Wednesday. And we're looking forward to being there again. The High Banks of Bristol, the world's last great Coliseum. Again, coverage begins Wednesday afternoon with a doubleheader, the truck race. And then in between the truck race and the Bush Beans 150, or in between the Bush Beans 150, chronologically we'll say it that way, in between those two will be a motorcycle group, the Team FMX. I believe I got that right. And these guys are flying through the air, coming off ramps and doing flips and landing on their bikes on the concrete at Bristol Motor Speedway. A bunch of daredevils on motorcycles. That'll be between the two car races, so pretty cool stuff. Tickets now are $30 for adults, and kids 15 and under get in free. That free stays. That's the price. Will be all the way through the racing this coming Wednesday night. Again, the Bush Beans 150, the Wheeling Modified Tour coming to town, the UNOH 200 presented by Zaloop. And so those two, and in between is those daredevil motorcyclists. So all the more reason to now get your tickets. They're only $30 through tomorrow night. Then they go up on Sunday for race week. Prices go up. So 423 Bristol, BristolTix.com is the number to call to get those tickets for Wednesday's race. We'll be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday hosting Bristol Live. And then, of course, down on Sunday, right back with a new show here, back in studio on the 24th, a week from Monday. So we're all excited about that and looking forward to it. A few minutes left here. Again, this gentleman, the sports writer for the Sporting News, went through ranked teams, winning teams, opponents' win percentage, road games, as well as a few other details, and came up with a list of the teams with the easiest schedules in college football. And he's done a lot of research on this. This gentleman's name, out of fairness to him, would be Tom Fornelli. Is that correct? Yeah, Fornelli, staff writer for the Sporting News magazine, which I'm a big fan of. So anyway, the fifth easiest schedule is TCU. According to Mr. Fornelli, while the last two games on the schedule are going to be tough with Oklahoma and Baylor, everything before that's pretty easy. Most difficult road game outside of Oklahoma is either Minnesota or Oklahoma State. The overall 2014 winning percentage of the teams on TCU's schedule is only 48%. So not a bunch of barn burners on that one. So they play SMU and they play Stephen F. Austin in non-conference. So at number 5 is TCU. At number 4, the easiest schedule in Division I football is Kansas State. Well, the Big 12 has a roundtable approach to its conference schedule. Kansas State will have to face TCU, Baylor, and Oklahoma. All three of those games played at home in Manhattan, Kansas. Though it should be pointed out, the Wildcats have to play both Oklahoma and TCU in consecutive weeks, followed by a trip to Austin to face the Longhorns. So they'll play games against South Dakota, UTSA, and Louisiana Tech. Now, Louisiana Tech had 9 wins last season. South Dakota went 2-10. UTSA finished 4-8. Not exactly a resume boosters, which he's right. That's number 4. TCU, Kansas State. Number 3, easiest cream puff schedule in the country, Division I, the Wisconsin Badgers, he says. We move to Madison, Big Ten country. They'll face Alabama in the season opener, but after that, things get real easy. Remains somewhat difficult as Wisconsin's 2 biggest challenges in the West would be Nebraska and Minnesota, both road games, but Wisconsin also catches a break. While Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State are all in the East, the 2 teams from the East the Badgers will face in round robin this season are Maryland and Rutgers. And the non-conference slate for Wisconsin would be Miami of Ohio, Troy, and Hawaii. Cream puff schedule, Wisconsin, 3rd easiest. Number 2 easiest, the Duke Blue Devils out of the ACC. They have a schedule this season that should help ensure wins coming from the Duke Blue Devils. They'll start in non-conference. The toughest opponent is a Northwestern team that went 5-7 last year. The rest of the slate includes Tulane, Army, and the North Carolina Central Eagles. When Duke gets to the ACC schedule, they have Wake Forest and Boston College. Finally, the toughest road game that Duke has on the schedule this year is in Blacksburg against the Hokies. Only other times the Blue Devils leave the comfort of home will be to face Tulane, Army, North Carolina, Wake, and Virginia. That's more than manageable, so this gentleman thinks the second easiest schedule in the country is Duke, and the number one easiest schedule in Division I college football are the Hawkeyes of Iowa. Start with bad news. Iowa has to play both Wisconsin and Nebraska on the road. Outside of those two games, they have a non-conference game of Illinois State. You kidding me? Pitt, North Texas, and a road game against Iowa State. In conference play, Iowa draws Indiana and Maryland from the East. And just like Wisconsin, they avoid any of the Big Ten better halves and some of the heavy hitters. Outside Nebraska and Wisconsin, toughest road test is either Northwestern or Iowa State. So anyway, this gentleman, whether you agree with it or not, it's worth talking about, I suppose. And he says the 5 easiest schedules in Division I college football: TCU, Kansas State, Wisconsin third, Duke second, and the easiest conference or easiest schedule, I should say, in the Division I, according to this gentleman from Sporting News Magazine, is the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, you can agree with it, disagree with it, I don't know, but it was worth chatting about, I guess. We want to say thanks as we wrap this thing up on this Friday, getting ready for the weekend. Our guests today have been Stacy Carter, head football coach of the Science Hill Hilltoppers, traveling down the road to battle Knox Catholic tonight in a game like scrimmage where the lights are on, referees, scoreboard, the whole deal, but game-like conditions. Our buddy Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse joined us earlier in the show. He's got the bag sale not this weekend, but next weekend at Book Lovers Warehouse. Jeff Birchfield joined us from the Johnson City Press, NASCAR beat sports writer. David Carmichael from the Parks and Rec did the quiz show with us today. And also Bill Patrick joined us from the King Sports Speedway. So they got racing there tonight and tomorrow night at Lonesome Pine in Coburn. We are out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. We're gone here again on this Friday, wrapping up day number 127. Thanks to all of our sponsors, and certainly thanks to you for giving us a listen and a watch, and both, as our viewer listenership continues to grow each and every show, and we appreciate that. And so we will reconvene Monday at 11 o'clock right here at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And again, we thank you one more time. Can't thank you enough, quite frankly, for being with us on day number 127. The show's growing, word's getting out. And if you are on Facebook, be sure and share with other folks and say, hey, give this guy a shot, give him a listen if you think we deserve it to listen to the show. And we would appreciate that very, very much. Out of time, we sincerely thank you for yours. Hit it. 127 in the books. We'll do it again Monday. Have yourselves a great weekend. If you are so inclined, I hope that you are, make it to the church house and worship the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's who we dedicate the show to. For all of our guests, Stacy Carter, Bob, Jeff Birchfield, David Carmichael, Bill Patrick, this is Tom Taylor. As always, we'll say, win or lose, be a good sport. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching and listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So long, everybody.